Season's greetings and welcome the beautiful Toyota Arena in Ontario, California for a presentation of the Major Arena Soccer League live on CBS Sports Golazo Network. Tonight, the St. Louis Ambush storm the Inland Empire of Southern California to take on the Empire Strykers. Good evening, everybody. My name's Christian Philemon, better known as Philly, alongside my broadcast partners, Amanda the Panda Philemon and Artie Kyrell. In the 10th meeting historically between the Ambush and the Strykers, they have never had a year in which they've competed against one another on 4 occasions. Tonight being the first, this will really set the tone for the series moving forward.
The Ambush coming off a spectacular overtime victory over Milwaukee, who is in great form after a rough start, is looking to continue that forward tonight.
Yeah, all eyes are going to be on Daniel Torrealba, who has 5 goals in just 3 games. But you can't count out Duduka Carvalho or William Esque to find the back of the net tonight.
Some of the most dynamic players you'll see in the MASL. For the Empire Strykers, they come in 1 win, 1 loss against their arch rivals, the San Diego Sockers. They looked really good on the road, but they surrendered a crucial game against the Sockers here at home. They really look like 2 different teams these past 2 matches.
Yeah, they just have to get focused tonight. It's too early to say we need wholesale changes, but they need to focus and execute on the floor tonight, and I'm looking for a big night from Stinger, for sure.
Yeah, and offensively, we've got to keep our eyes on Munir Alami. In her sophomore season, he's already got 3 goals, and then, of course, Marco Fabian, who's already scored in both games that he's been in.
The Stinger being Justin Stinson, wearing number 10. You're not going to be able to miss him. He's got the blue hair. Folks, we are so excited to be here. This is our final game of 2025. As you can see, our festive attire. We are ready to party, and hopefully you are as well, because tonight, we are watching the Major Arena Soccer League on CBS Sports Golazo Network. Kickoff in just a moment. We'll see you after the break.
Loma Linda University invites you to join our open house on Sunday, January 25. Learn about your program of interest and how you can advance your career in health sciences. You'll tour our campus, meet students, network with faculty, and connect with professionals in the field. Answer your calling and attend Loma Linda University's open house. Register now at llu.edu/open house. Again, that's llu.edu/open house. I'll see you there.
1, 2, 3, let's go. I see you staring, but don't want no smoke. I hear you talking, but I'm here for the show. Don't get it twisted, baby, I snatch souls. If you murder, she roll. 1, 2, 3, let's go. I see you staring, but don't want no smoke. I hear you talking, but I'm here for the show. Don't get it twisted, baby, I snatch souls. If you murder, she roll. 1, 2, 3, let's go. I see you staring, but don't want no smoke. I hear you talking, but I'm here for the show.
Please signal, runway 26 break, clear on.
Happy holidays from National Corps and the Hope Through Housing Foundation. We are proud partners of the Empire Strykers. Thank you so much to all of the Empire Stryker players for continuing to come out and support all of the children and families in our communities. We wish you and your families a very safe and healthy holiday season. Let's go, Strykers!
The Major Arena Soccer League is proud to welcome you to the MASL on CBS Sports Golazo Network. Miter, the official game ball supplier of the Major Arena Soccer League. Established in 1817, Miter is one of the leading soccer brands worldwide and produces some of the best soccer balls in the world. Learn more at miter.com, and we are underway. Live under the bright lights of Toyota Arena, the MASL is back in full effect. St. Louis Ambush in town to take on the Empire Strykers. My name's Philly, alongside the coach himself, Artie Kyrell. Thank you so much for spending some time with us this evening, and thank you if you're just joining us from that incredible Milwaukee Wave Baltimore Blast game. That was a game in which the Wave won in overtime, an incredible contest. Milwaukee getting that one back after losing to St. Louis just a week ago in overtime, Artie.
Yeah, good bounce back. Ready to, just getting back into form. Taking to overtime, but still getting it done.
Brian Orozco with a shot. The Strykers love to utilize their keeper as an offensive weapon. Brian Orozco, the kind of player who's found the back of the net on a couple of occasions throughout his young career. Orozco, Guatemalan international, featured with Guatemala's national senior futsal team, playing in the CONCACAF with Comunicaciones, one of the biggest clubs in Guatemala, featured with their U17 side, and instantly getting a part of the offense here. He didn't waste any time. Barely a minute in, we've already had an almost goal by Brian Orozco, who's hit that from that distance.
The best thing is it was a very good look. It was clean. It was on. You know, there was a line to goal, so that's a good sign for the Strikers, pushing up early. I think looking at you know what Milwaukee did later in the fourth quarter. So good start. 40-something seconds. First crack on frame, or not on frame, but first crack to goal. Restart so far.
Restart for the Strikers. The officials for today: Ryan Sigic, Fernando Peña, Adrian Gonzalez, and Viviana Diaz. Steven Chavez, newly acquired from the Texas Outlaws, goes into the captain, Robert Palmer, who we're on Robert Palmer watch. 399 career blocks throughout his illustrious career. One more puts him over the fourth floor, the 400 level. He's amassed some incredible statistics. Last season, he was one of the best pass masters in the league. Of course, the pass master going to Lucas Almeida, who will see there's an attempt by Orozco, and Paulo Nascimento, keeper for St. Louis, makes the save. Two very talented keepers. During the warm-ups, you're watching Paulo doing those plyometric push-ups just to get himself warmed up and ready to go. We've got two incredibly talented teams featuring two incredibly talented keepers. One that is way outside of his box, way outside of his position. But don't be fooled, folks. The Strikers love to use that extra attacker, and Brian Orozco, along with his running mate, Brandon Gomez, these kids can score. Opportunity for Polo Hernandez. That one goes wide off of the boards. Newly signed to the Empire this season, number 99, Ali Somo, but we have a stoppage in play as senior official Ryan Sigic blows the whistle. Paulo Nascimento is down on the turf. Hasn't gotten back up since that near collision, that attempt that was taken moments ago.
If we can get a look at it.
We have the trainer for St. Louis coming out on the turf, Cody Elmendroff, tending to Paulo. Hopefully it's nothing too serious. Paulo, a beloved player in not only the St. Louis area, but throughout the entire United States. Let's see if we can check that replay again. There's the attempt by Polo.
Oh.
And then we see the collision after Polo's attempt. Nothing malicious, obviously, just part of the run of play. But the trainers are still tending to Paulo Nascimento. And while that happens, while they're taking care of that, Capelli Sport is the official and exclusive preferred uniform and apparel provider of the Major Arena Soccer League. Visit MASLsoccer.com to shop the all-new MASL fan store for the latest fan and team gear. Next bets. Think you can predict the MASL? Head on over to nxtbets.com to place your wagers on the MASL action this season. There we see the starting lineups for the visiting ambush. Paulo Nascimento, who we mentioned. Daniel Torrealba coming in from the Texas Outlaws. What a start to the season he's had. 5 goals. Jeff Machad, Colin O'Keefe, who had 2 goals against the Milwaukee Wave. The always dangerous Duduka Carvalho, one of the biggest players that you'll see. Big target forward. And Mario Falzone rounding out the lineup. So an update. Paulo Nascimento is headed to the bench. He's going to be replaced by backup keeper Jose Ogaz. So instantly, we're barely 2 minutes and change into the game, and Paulo sitting down on the bench. That's going to be a big deal. I mean, he's one of the top shot stoppers in this league.
Yeah, that was a bad shot he took to the back of the head. You know, he wasn't expecting it. Your brain gets a little rattled. You know, as a former fighter, I can tell you, there's a reason why those behind-the-head shots are illegal.
So we have a brother combination on the turf for the Empire. Last time we saw that, it was Charlie Gonzalez and his brother Bebe Gonzalez. Ali Somo and Isak Somo, formerly of Utica City FC, hitting the turf together. Ali just was announced today. The official signing was a standout player at the State University of New York, Oneonta, SUNY Oneonta, the alma mater of our commissioner, by the way, Keith Tozer, the first overall draft pick back for the Cincinnati Kids in the 70s. Opportunity for Orozco, but he threads that one a little too high into the netting. It's going to be a goalkeeper restart for the ambush.
Yeah, a little dangerous on the change there. You saw the 2 defenders actually making the same diagonal run, except a 4-yard gap. That's going to be trouble if they don't work on those changes and create angles off that first defender. they got to account for Brian living by fire there for ambush.
Justin Stinson over to the right to Abdul Mansouri. Mansouri's shot off of the plexi, recovered by Marco Fabian. Olympic gold medalist Marco Fabian, of course, and Mexican international, featured for Mexico in the World Cup on a number of occasions. A beloved player in Southern California. The kind of guy who can't walk down the streets of LA without being mobbed by fans. Obviously, his contributions to Chivas de Guadalajara, massive. Playing for Mexico, that's going to be something special. And obviously, his reality TV series, Love Undercover, which featured on Peacock about a year ago.
I watched that. An interesting show.
I was waiting for your assessments right there. I was hanging on the edge of my seat wondering what you were thinking.
I instantly thought my friends were going to say when I mentioned that I watched it, so that little trauma right there.
Well, you might be getting judged by your friends back home, and anybody who's part of the AC bunch, the Artie Kyrell crew, shout out to y'all as well. Restart here for the Empire Strykers. See Justin Stinson sporting that blue hair. Stinson had a tough game against San Diego just about a week ago. Fabian kicks it into the Stinger. Stinger, who was about 1 goal shy of the Golden Boot last season. He was beat by Jorge Rios of the Chihuahua Savage, but Justin Stinson continues to get better year after year. One of the best midfielders you'll see in the sport. As a child, trained with the West Ham United Youth Academy. Yes, the West Ham out of East London. Justin Stinson, an electrifying player. Isak Somo finding space off the wall. Wallace score opportunity, and it is! And just as we mentioned him, Isak Somo directly to the Stinger himself, and Justin stings the ambush. Strikers go up by a score of 1-0.
A wise man once said that tonight's going to be a night for Stinger, so he gets off to a good start. It's great for him because it wasn't a clean hit. You know, he was coming off injury from the first game. Yet last game he was a bit rusty, kind of overstruck on his technique. Here he kind of hit it again off center, but reward for his hard work, and the ball bounces in. I'm pretty sure I heard him call bank anyway, so it counts. Bank, yep, there it is.
And shout out to Wallace score. That's a lexicon, by the way, when you utilize the boards as a teammate, a one-timer, as Somo blasted it off, and Stinson managed to find it as the benefactor there. But an excellent start for the Strikers. 10 minutes and 53 remaining, and, well, we're going to have a little bit of time here because it's a teddy bear toss at Toyota Arena. A lot of big teddy bears in there. I've seen teddy bears on the turf that dwarf even you and I, Artie.
That's tough to do, but I thought I saw a cousin down there earlier with the season ticket holders. Just to go back on Justin's hit there, Phil, if you notice, he kind of jumped a little bit to get his heel up of the ball. And, you know, when you're striking the ball, you want to try to keep your heel to the sky. And, you know, although he did drip it a little bit, he kept it low enough to go, and I think that's a very good sign for Strikers, and Justin in trouble for St. Louis if he's going to, you know, catch his strike purely.
And insanely enough, that's the first goal of the season for Justin Stinson. That was your starting lineup for the Empire Strykers. Anthony Powell, Munir Lamy, who in his sophomore season, one of the candidates for newcomer of the year, already 3 goals. Marco Fabian, the speedster, Abdul Mansouri, Steven Chavez, and Brian Orozco round out your lineup for the Strikers. For those that are new to this sport, there are a lot of similarities with the sport of hockey, where you can have unlimited substitutions. There are lines, there are power plays, there are different units that the coaches will use for power plays and penalty kills, and that will be a big part of what you will see tonight. St. Louis is one of those teams that really succeeds in the power play scenario, operating at 33% efficiency, 75% on the penalty kill. Strikers, 100% on the penalty kill, 0% scores on the power play. But just some statistics to get you neophytes out there, and if this is your first time watching indoor soccer, we just want to say thank you so much. This is the greatest show on turf. We love this game. Major Arena Soccer League, been around for a little over a decade. The sport itself since the late 70s, and this is the highest level of professional indoor soccer in the world. Some exciting players as Daniel Torre Alba gets fouled by Steven Chavez. Torre Alba, who last season played with the Texas Outlaws, 5 goals and 5 assists, 5 bangers this season, as he tries to find Deduca Carvalho, but there's Berto Palmer, captain of the Strikers, thwarting that effort. Mansouri into Perez. Perez, a standout at the University of California at Riverside. He, along with Polo Hernandez, featuring here in the Inland Empire, staying close to home. Another member of the Texas Outlaws, Lucas Romalo, takes the turf. And Brian Orozco hits the deck, drawing the foul. You live by the sword, you die by the sword, and with the amount of times the Strykers like to utilize their goalkeeper, this season, for the most part, they've been far more successful than not being. Anthony Powell, who scored his first goal against San Diego a week ago, comes up from the Dallas Sidekicks. El Leon, his nickname. And El Leon took a bite out of the Sockers defending to get his first goal, playing professionally over in Iceland and Sweden. There's Orozco getting by defenders, using the wall. There we see some contact with, I believe that to be Jeff Mashad. There's an example of how physical this game of indoor can be as well.
There you go, Brian. Brian held up pretty good with that challenge there. You saw with Duduka going quickly there. That's a tough call. You know, you want to go to goal, but St. Louis hasn't seen very much of the ball. You know, that entry pass that Berto bought, now they're getting caught again.
Perez off the wall. Ogaz makes a save. Powell with Williamson all over him. Robert Williamson, who came over from a trade from the Milwaukee Wave last season, standout at Buffalo State University, a big defender. You and I already were watching both teams warm up. It's just the size that Williamson has, Christian Briggs, who you'll see, and of course Duduka. Some big players that the Ambush have on their roster.
Indeed, it was it was impressive. There's some good-sized men out there.
You see a couple of Brazilians, one in particular that you just saw, Ciro Oliveira. I bring up the Brazilians because having the experience of playing futsal, huge in the game of indoor. Quick shifts, good with your feet. Ciro, couple of seasons now here in the Empire, goes over to Polo Hernandez. Polo plays Marco, Polo with Stinson. There we see the Strykers doing what they love to do, and that's maintain possession. Something that we did not see against San Diego in that loss for the Empire last week. St. Louis, on the other hand, comes in off an impressive victory against the Milwaukee Wave. Rough start to the season as they drop 2 to their arch rivals, the Kansas City Comets. But St. Louis is a team last season, got red hot late in the year, made a nice run, landed in the postseason, and took the eventual champions, Chihuahua Savage, down to the fourth quarter where both teams were deadlocked 1-1. Chihuahua eventually would win that game, but the score that you would see, I believe it ended 5-1, not indicative of how great St. Louis played, the defending champions. That ball comes into the box. Marco Fabian tried to get his paws on it. And there's Briggs.
Good press. Unlucky.
Out of Trinidad and Tobago. Lucas Almeida tried to move the ball forward to connect with Falzone, who got the start. Alami over to Hernandez. Hernandez was part of that 2023 Big West champion UC Riverside squad that won the regular season, won the conference tournament, and spent some time in the NCAAs. Stinson trying to get by his defender. Senior official Ryan Sigic blowing the whistle, indicating that it's going to be a drop ball, and Strykers are going to have that possession. So 7 minutes and 32 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. We're going to head to our first media timeout, and as we go to a break, Empire leading the St. Louis Ambush by a score of 1-0. You're watching the Major Arena Soccer League live on CBS Sports Golazo Network. Back in a moment.
Society has an obligation to help others when others are struggling. Families can become distressed because they lose their father. Now a mother's forced to raise their 3 children. How does she get a job? How does she create the means to take care of her kids?
For nearly 30 years, National Core and Hope Through Housing have changed the lives of hundreds of thousands of individuals, providing housing, offering hope, transforming communities. National Core and Hope Through Housing, building the future of community.
Here for giggles. Here for support. Here for healing. Here for courage. Here for moments. San Antonio Regional Hospital. Here for life.
MASLsoccer.com is your home for everything Major Arena Soccer League. All the latest news, leaderboards, highlights, and more. MASL Plus, the lights are bright and the fans are loud. It's the St. Louis Ambush taking on the Empire Strykers. Stream it live on MASLplus.tv and replay the game on demand. Clip it, share it, live it again. Make sure to favorite your team to get instant updates on every game. Justin Stinson scoring the first goal of the game. And Artie, I'm going to put you on the spot. What does Justin Stinson and the St. Louis Ambush have in common?
They both have or did reside in St. Louis.
Ah, correct. St. Charles. That's right. St. Charles, Missouri. You did your homework. I love it. That's why I enjoy working with you, my man.
Don't tell my teachers.
Well, I mean, you could just say, hey, look at me now.
I made a mistake. Didn't homework.
Well, I certainly need you to do your homework. And glad to have you on there.
Gonna put that master's degree to work. My mom.
See Randy Martinez checking into the game for the St. Louis Ambush wearing the number 91. Randy Martinez started his career in indoor soccer playing for the Empire Strykers. A beloved member of this community, always out there doing the philanthropic events. He had a breakout season in the MASL. Last year got traded to St. Louis right before the season starts as James Togba's shot nearly finds the back of the net as Brian Orozco was part of the offense. James Togba, a dangerous player. Just to finish the thought on Randy Martinez, just got his career here, had a breakout season. Obviously, we wish him all the best. St. Louis, you guys have a darling on your team as that attempt by Mansoret goes into the net. But there you see the example of the Strikers utilizing the goalkeeper as the attacker. James Togba almost finding the back of the net with the equalizer.
Yeah, that was great defending, inside shoulder turn by O'Keefe to kind of keep him off the ball for him to win it. But again, we talked about it last week. You know, it's one of these false hope chances. He took the chance, but at the end of the day, it's like when an outdoor field player just takes it and it's a goal kick. You know, they haven't had much of the ball. They've got 2 games this weekend. You would think they'd want to keep it a little bit because the changes are long as well when you look, when the Strikers can keep the ball. So the press there kind of helped. So as they get the ball, it gives them a chance to make the change. As you can see there, Williamson coming on. But, I mean, you know, they're going to wear them down if they continue to quick turnovers like that.
Now, the attempt that was nearly scored by James Togba out of Monrovia, Liberia, was traded from Kansas City. Didn't play last season, but he's in his 8th season in the MASL. Look at the spin by Stinson. Another example of how dynamic this young man is.
He's feeling it. That's his 3rd 1v1 encounter, I think, thus far in the first quarter, so he's feeling it pretty good.
Perez trying to clear some space, but Williamson denies him. He's going to have to work a lot harder to get by the big-bodied Williamson.
That's a tough one. Yep.
Foul down on the turf, and there we see blue. Tarjeta azul. Blue card, folks, for those that don't know what that means, a blue card is a 2-minute penalty. As Justin Stinson gets called for it, there we see the penalty right there. He's going to sit in the sin bin for 2 minutes, and now it's going to be a power play opportunity for St. Louis. They're 1 for 3 this season, operating at a 33.33 percentage rate. I mathsed right there.
You know, that was just a poor technical tackle from Justin coming in from late. You know, if you come in from behind like that at that angle, you have to actually rotate your hips like a wrong foot slide in baseball and extend outward with his right foot, and that way you avoid that plant leg and, you know, potentially not get the blue card there. So just the wrong technique at the wrong time. I think he was just anxious, though. He's playing well. He wants the ball back.
He felt quite upset and hard. It was really hard on himself during the last performance. Managed to chat with him briefly after the game against San Diego. Obviously, he's feeling the competitive fire there, but the competitive edge now goes to St. Louis here in this power play as Martinez connects with last season's pass master. That's a new term for a lot of you. The best assist maker, best playmaker in the game, Lucas Almeida. Almeida over to Duduca Carvalho, William Esque, Daniel Torrealba. As that ball goes back to Paulo Nascimento, who checks back in after taking a hit 2 minutes and change into the first quarter. It's good to see him back. Paulo's been in this league for quite some time, Artie.
Outstanding goalkeeper. Nice to see get through the concussion test there.
And he's gone through a lot of stuff. Tore his ACL in the 21-22 season. I mean, he with that futsal background that he had growing up in his native Brazil, important. As that one comes off the boards, Almeida had a look. There's Torrealba, 5 goals this season. Carvalho looking to get by Mansura, his shot, and Orozco gets his paws on it to make the save. Tries to wall it in. Was St. Louis. We're under a minute to go here in this power play. Torrealba looking to get by Somo. Tries to thread it through Berto Palmer, and that's going to take a deflection. And St. Louis answers right again. It's a power play goal for the ambush.
Banker ball right now. 2 goals. Torrealba, that little cut right there. I watched him last game, and he does that little shoulder roll type move, same as Charlie Gonzalez, and he kind of got him inside shoulder here again, coming across. Great save from Brian, just extending. Great photo, another great photo for him. Getting set. So that as they reload here, you knew they were going to look for Torrealba. He's the hot guy, right? So here he comes. He's going to go, and he's just going to dip that and just tuck him, boop, right there. That's it. We talked all about it last week. Windows. He just had that window of the ball to play there. And just good spot for Almeida, and unlucky for the Strikers. But, you know, again, just good technical football.
Brian Orozco tries to answer. The rebound to Fabian. Fabian's going to reset it back to Polo. Polo to Oliveira. And that's one of those scenarios where Stinson's going to look back on it and go, I shouldn't have made that foul, because that put his team in a deficit. And, well, St. Louis, with that power play unit they have, managed to convert. Now 2 for 4 on the season. That's going to take a bounce. Almost comes through again. Polo being pressed. He finds himself in a corner, somehow gets out of that ambush sandwich, connecting in with Chavez. Chavez had Fabian to the right of him, passes it on through.
Again, exciting turnover.
Powell, whose nickname Ant, can't really call him Ant-Man, as that's probably trademarked by a very talented NBAer playing for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Ant really happy being here in Empire. Great place for anybody really to be in. Southern California, obviously, as the rest of the country is in cooler temperatures. We were wearing shorts earlier today here in Ontario. Ontario, California, not to be confused with Ontario, Canada. I know there's stories, and I'm not going to mention or put any teams on blast here, but flights bought to the, wrong country. Erroneously back in the day. You imagine that. You land in the wrong city. You're late for the game. How's about that for a forfeit? Walter Diaz.
I got a great price on a rental car, but realized it was the wrong place. It was in Canada.
Oh, that's Ontario, Canada?
Yeah.
Fabian's going to draw the foul. That comes on the heels of Colin O'Keefe. O'Keefe, who came over from the Lone Star State, Texas.
That's a good acquisition for St. Louis. He presses the kid, works really hard, real ambitious.
O'Keefe out of Buffalo, New York in his 4th season in the MASL. He's a rookie with the Heat. Shot by Fabian, saved. Paulo, exceptional save, denying Fabian his 3rd straight game with a goal. Fabian, who in his 1st season, that but 2 seasons ago, was the co-Golden Boot winner along with Kansas City's Zach Reggett. Fabian was all MASL 2nd team last season as Stinson. There you see the touch on the ball as he's being defended by Machad. Stinson still sticking with it, over to Palmer. Approaching that minute mark here within the 1st quarter.
It's a good angle for Justin. He had a good angle there if he could have got boards, because the inside cover was kind of flat.
As we hear our public address announcer, John Spire, call for 1 minute. Orozco wide open, right into the breadbasket of Nascimento. Now, back in the day, from that position, in particular with the keeper being out, the keeper would be able to throw the ball into the net. As that attempt, oh my goodness, ding dong, ring-a-ling-a-ling off the post. We almost saw a goal of the year candidate there.
That was a little better, more in rhythm.
That's going to be a whistle going against Togba. Strikers regain possession with under 34 seconds here in this 1st quarter.
I'd be curious as they go into the 2nd quarter if Coach Locker's going to try to change that rotation when Brian comes forward. And if that happens, to see if Coach Obasi has Brian work for an assist on that and just kind of slot the ball for a tap in. Some dueling minds possibilities right there.
You could tell, though, that St. Louis was practicing those long shots with Brian Orozco outside of goal. They've gotten close. I mean, realistically, they could have been up in this quarter right here as we have a foul down on the turf. Another blue card. This time it's going to go against St. Louis.
2 blue cards, 2 ill-advised tackles from behind.
I believe that might be Lucas Ramalho who's in that corner. From our perspective, we've lost it. Yes, that is Ramalho, and that would be Randy Martinez with the tackle. Yeah, the foul well warranted there. So Strykers are going to have the power play here.
Yeah, Randy just getting caught late and trying to recover there. That's a tough foul to take there. So he just gets beat. Right foot forward angled, couldn't recover, couldn't plant to go. And just tried to catch him and couldn't.
4.4 seconds remaining. It's going to have to be a quick shot, but when this quarter starts in the second quarter, the Strykers will still have that power play. There's Nascimento. Berto Palmer, the ricochet right off of Paulo Nascimento, and that's how quickly you can score a goal in indoor soccer. In 3 seconds, the Strykers managed to gain the lead again, 2-1. Robert Palmer, doctor, give us the news. I had to say it. It was appropriate.
Perfect. Just once again, bank ball. 3 goals, 3 banks off of something or someone, somehow. Just quick feet. You know, Berto's just a veteran player, knows they're going to go to frame and frames the box. You've got players around there. You know, you had Alami right there poaching, ready to go. So I talked to Berto after the game against San Diego, and he was talking about how he needed to take more shots. So, because he had Alami on the back stick as well, but he took the shot himself, you know, put it home.
As Eske fires that shot into the plexi, it was 1.5 seconds remaining. Robert Palmer gets his first goal of the season, and the Strykers get their first power play goal of the season as well. Had an exciting first quarter here in the books. 3 goals scored between both teams, and it's been a fun, fast-paced first quarter, Artie.
Real fun, real fast, very opportunistic. Both teams, you know, just taking advantage of situations. Ambush has been a bit unlucky as far as going to goal when Brian was out. But I think there's going to be goals in this game, Philly. There's definitely going to be goals in this game. Guys just crash it. Look at that. Puts it home.
All right, folks, we're going to head to break. 2-1. The score of Strykers back in this for the second quarter momentarily.
Society has an obligation to help others when others are struggling. Families can become distressed because they lose their father. Now a mother's forced to raise their 3 children. How does she get a job? How does she create the means to take care of her kids?
For nearly 30 years, National Core and Hope Through Housing have changed the lives of hundreds of thousands of individuals, providing housing, offering hope, transforming communities. National Core and Hope Through Housing, building the future of community.
Wait, 6 call. I went to 6 break. We're on.
Catch MASL Monday every Monday night on MASL TV and on CBS Sports Golasso Network. Alex Boschovansky and Phil Ivanko are joined each week by special guests from across the league to recap the weekend's game and discuss the league's hot topics. Speaking of hot topics, Artie, what a hot start to the first quarter we've had here for the Empire Strykers. They opened up the scoring first, courtesy of one Justin Stinson. He gets the assist from Isak Somo. St. Louis manages to respond right away. William Eske, power play goal, getting his second goal of the season. And then in the dying moments of the first quarter, literally 2 seconds remaining, Robert Palmer manages to score, and it's another Somo, Ali Somo, getting credit for the dime. Two brothers, two Somos from Utica contributing to the scoreline. Strikers up 2-1.
Again, very opportunistic. So it just lends itself for a lot of goals tonight, which has been exciting for the crowd here.
That's what you want out of indoor soccer. St. Louis averages about 4.3 goals per game this season. The Strikers averaging about 5. So if they just hit the numbers, we're looking at around 9 to 10 goals. Now, historically, St. Louis has never beaten the Empire Strykers. 9-0, and with how long this league has been around, it's actually kind of insane that they've only played each other on 9 occasions. I think the first meeting was back during that 2019-2020 season. St. Louis, a founding member of this league, and I mean, they've been around since 2013, owned by Will and Shelley Clark and Jeff Locker, who also happens to be the manager of the Ambush.
I think it's a great byproduct of the environment right now, where everybody plays everybody throughout the year at least once or twice, actually, right?
Oh, I couldn't agree more. I mean, you have a shield going to the team with the best regular season record. You got to play every single team, and now this season we're going to get an opportunity to see every team. I mean, I went for years without calling the Milwaukee Wave, for example. Finally got to do it, last season. Get to see St. Louis a couple of times. Obviously, we see San Diego and Tacoma all the time.
You got Gomez in the goal now.
Yes.
Strikers.
Gomez coming in. Previously was in Nisa playing with the LA Wolves. For those that follow the TST tournament, Brandon Gomez was part of that game-winning, that the team bumpy pitch that won the $1 million prize. Brandon Gomez, another elite keeper. He, along with Brian Orozco, each had 4 points last season. As that ball gets dispossessed, Torrealba, the pass in, the 2-on-1, and the goal. Jeff Mashad manages to thread through the netting from turf to twine. St. Louis Ambush managed to score the equalizer.
Just a good press on the defending. Can't get caught with the ball at your feet. Great example for a young player. And then just very unselfish. Quick play there. Eyes up. Just a simple tap in. I mean,
excellent ball movement. Torrealba, who had 5 goals coming into this one, can now add an assist to his season, up to 6 points. And Jeff Mashad, out of West Palm Beach, Florida, 5th season in the MASL, finds his first goal of the season. Now, despite only having 5 seasons in the MASL, he goes back to the time period when the Orlando Seawolves were a team.
That's a few years back. But I mean, just the unselfishness of Torrealba. I mean, he's got 5 goals. He had a good look. He could have put it to his left peg and hit it. But still, just great eyes up and just finding the simple tap in. I mean, again, just so many great examples of how to play footy properly right there. It's just everything right. The press, the eyes up, the quick movement of the ball, and a tap in goal. You can't get any better than tap ins.
Mario Falzone was defending that ball incredibly well. That's going to be a foul issued on the turf. Falzone out of Scotland, played collegiately at the University of Illinois Springfield. Also featured in the UPSL and USL too. Rookie this season. 2 assists coming into today's game, but he gets the hockey. He should get the credit for the hockey assist on that goal by Mashad.
I met Pele for the first time in Aberdeen, Scotland, in a parking lot. A great conversation. He stayed and talked with us for about 45, 50 minutes.
Y'all were hanging out in a parking lot chatting for 45, 50 minutes. There's got to be more to the story than you're saying on there. Keep in mind, it's a family-friendly show, by the way.
It was the Under-17 World Cup, and my little brother had just beat Brazil the night before, and he was man of the match. And Pele came walking out into the parking lot of the stadium, and we just caught him. And he just literally stayed and talked. I was there with Claudio Reyna's grandfather and a couple other people with U.S. Soccer, and it was a great time. But he's just a great ambassador for football.
Rest in peace to the great Pele. Obviously made a name for himself in the United States. He had a name for himself, of course, but introduced a lot of Americans to the outdoor game, playing with the New York Cosmos. And even in our wonderful sport of indoor, Shep Messing, who was a goalkeeper for the New York Cosmos, was part of one heck of a New York Arrows team. And Shep Messing now the commissioner of this beautiful sport, along with Keith Tozer and the legendary broadcaster JP Dellacamera. As that ball sails into the stands. Wouldn't it be something, Artie, if the fans could keep the balls that go into the stands? Those miter balls aren't cheap, let me tell you that, but what heck of a souvenir that would be.
Yeah, like I said last game, I'm waiting for the guy to get it and just start running up the stairs and see what happens.
Well, who would get the blue card if that was the case? So restart here, top of the arc. Palmer to Stinson, who fires it. He hits the net, and that's going to be a goalkeeper restart for Nascimento.
Just to finish that Pele story, the greatest thing about the Pele for me is he played with Jeff Durgan played with him, and I spent time with Jeff with the Olympic Development Program, and he would ask Jeff every day. Jeff's a big, strapping guy, 6'3", 6'4", and he would ask him every day after practice, Jeff, what did you learn today? I mean, that to me, that's just outstanding, a person like him to say, what did you learn today, and obviously sharing that knowledge. That's what footy's about. It's a great game where people just share ideas all the time.
And speaking of sharing, that was a great pass from Carvalho, as Torrealba had an attempt, a couple of shots towards the Strikers' end. But down goes Gomez. St. Louis really knocking on that door. There we even see the carpet in that corner rolled up a bit. Gomez is down on the turf, and the officials are calling for the trainers to come out. Must be something on that end of the field, because very similar spaces. Both keepers go down. Let's see that replay again. There we see Esque's attempt. Oh, and that comes right off of the face of Brandon Gomez. There we see the attempt by Torrealba. Torrealba just went a little too far to the left with his attempt, got the wrong end of his boot there. And yeah, clear as day, there you see it. William Esque was looking for his second goal of the game, third goal of the season, and Gomez makes the save. Didn't get his paws on it, but certainly got his head on it. And these players, Artie, as you know, you've been a coach in this league. I mean, those players, these players in this league can fire rockets. I mean, that's concussion protocol, no question.
I'll tell you what, that ball hurts. There's no other way to put it. That ball hurts. And Esque hit it pretty clean on the half volley. So he hit that clean and hollow, and Brandon just took it right in the dome.
And Brandon's back up on his feet, though, getting a round of applause. That gives us an opportunity to talk a little bit about MASL social media. Get the latest news on the MASL and your favorite teams by following MASL Soccer on Facebook and Instagram, and MASL Arena on Twitter. MASL TV, make sure you subscribe to it. MASL TV on YouTube. You'll find game rebroadcasts, MASL shows, highlights, and more. And I would say within 24 hours after the conclusion of this game, you'll be able to find the replay on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe, click like, hit those notification buttons. Orozco now back in. Connects with Alami, and Orozco goes down, fouled by Carvalho. Carvalho seems to think otherwise. Let's take a look at that replay again. The speedster Orozco gets right by his defender, connects with Alami, and then some incidental contact by Carvalho, but now the Strikers have the restart in a dangerous position.
That was a good change. You know, I talked about it earlier. Brian coming forward and making that pass.
Fabian's shot gets ambushed by St. Louis's wall.
No, by the way, he was dribbling, he wasn't going to hit it, so he was clearly coming forward to make the pass. So a very good adjustment, I think.
Hernandez tried to find Alami in the corner, headed out by Williamson. Chavez is going to restart it. Polo Hernandez is going to track back to regain it for the Strikers. Under 11 to go here in the second quarter. We've been treated to a fun one, 2-2 the score. A lot of interesting results in the MASL this season.
Nobody's safe.
No, nobody's safe. We saw how impressive Tacoma was. Despite not having their legendary players, Nick Pereira and Chris Toth, really handling the Baltimore Blast. And Tacoma's sitting now watching this game as they're going to host the Empire Strykers in less than 24 hours. Quick turnaround for Empire, as I don't know when they're going to get on the airplane. Are they going to go right to the Ontario International Airport after this? Or are they going to go in the morning? But real quick turnaround for Empire.
I would venture to guess in the morning.
One would think. Pass in, Chavez. Over to Oliveira. Into Diaz. Diaz, who last season played 3 games with the Empire Strykers, managed to score 3 times, and almost another deflection. Strykers have to be a lot more observational when it comes to the defenders, because they got caught. They almost got caught again on a nasty turnover that would have led to an easy counter for St. Louis.
Yeah, they've got to move the ball a little quicker and understand that the time to take the touches.
Credit the defense of St. Louis, just pressing high up on Empire, managing to create some chaos for the Strykers defenders, trying to play it out of their defensive third of the field. Intercepted by Perez. Perez to Alami. Alami, who was on the short list of 3 players to win MASL Newcomer of the Year last season. That award was given to Baltimore's Chad Porch. Alami, the Moroccan international, featured with the U17s of Morocco. Played a lot of indoor in the city of Chicago. And Alami, currently the Strykers' leading scorer this season. Palmer was looking to go into Perez. O'Keefe gets almost dispossessed, and he does. Ramalho uses the wall as his teammate, but he's sandwiched in between a trifecta of ambush players. Christian Briggs tries to connect to foul zone, but that one goes directly to Orozco. There's the defense once again by St. Louis. Poked away by Eske. Intercepted by Isak Somo. Somo is going to put on the brakes. Thought he was going to go to Palmer on the left. Palmer already with 1 goal in this game. And as I mentioned, coming in, 399 career blocks. He'll have ascertained over 400 tonight. Stinson, who scored the first goal of the game, easily identifiable by that blue hair. If you watch the pregame show, you know I like to take some liberties with my outfits. And I thought I had a strong hair game, but Justin Stinson has me cooked in that department. As you cook too, Artie.
Yeah, mine cooks backwards. my jet tail.
Still rocking the ponytail. I wish I could do that as well. Wife not too thrilled with that kind of a haircut for me.
Mine's sentimental.
That one poked away, back to Orozco. Excellent pass in, look at the touch to Somo. Somo finds Perez. Perez just had a difficult touch there as he tried to spin and find some space for himself. Collects it back from his former UCR Highlander teammate, Hernandez. Over to Stinson on the left. Fabian checks back in. Look at him on the right wearing the number 33. Has the touch. Defended by the Venezuelan Torrealba. Torrealba just really impressive in these first few games for St. Louis. Pass back into Orozco. Orozco's not going to be shy of firing away. Nascimento did get his hands on it. Strykers regain possession, although Polo slipped. Recovered. Battle as that one's recovered.
2v1.
2v1. Fabian over to Mansoure. Mansoure's pass to Fabian too much, and Fabian's going to get tripped up by Briggs. A missed opportunity for Empire there as they had that 2-on-1. Fabian wisely goes to his left to connect with Mansoure, but Mansoure's give and go to him, not successful, and there you see the foul on Fabian.
That was great defending from Briggs. I mean, he was just a moving mountain right there, forcing Fabian to kind of work around him and give enough time for the ball to roll by for a scoring chance. So.
Moving mountain, a great way to describe Briggs in his 6th season. A standout at St. Louis University. Palmer on the restart. Fabian, and look at the defense by Machad. Battle between both teams in that corner. Eske has it. Doesn't really have anybody to run with as Powell recovers it for Empire. Eske has it. Tries to spin past. And Powell goes over to Palmer. Under 6 to go here in the second quarter. Eske collects it right in the midfield. Over to Mashad and into Williamson. Williamson bats it off the wall into Carvalho. And that's going to be a foul, as indicated by Ryan Sigic on Berto Palmer.
That's a better ball for Duduka, coming forward to the ball at his feet when they kind of dumped it in and let Berto jump it. You know, that's where Berto lives, so that was a much better, more effective pass into Duduka there to his feet.
Ball comes into Tristan Austin. Taken away by Fabian, but Austin, he's going to get called for the foul. Tristan in his fifth year in St. Louis. Impressively enough, won 2 state championships in high school at Broomfield. Had 1 goal and 2 assists last season. But overall, throughout his career, 45 games played, 11 assists, 19 points. 2-2 the score. It's been a back and forth game. Friday night lights have not disappointed this evening. And wherever you are across the country, again, thank you so much for joining us. Shouldn't just say across the country. We've gotten global now. We're Fox Sports in Mexico. And I know we've gotten a lot of good views in Europe, in Australia, all throughout the world, really, with our streaming partners.
See the clear out again and giving Alami a look to go at Williamson there. Just kind of guys shifting to the left. See that ISO, but doesn't seem to feel comfortable to quite yet.
Chavez takes an attempt at it. And with 4 minutes and 33 seconds remaining here in the second quarter, we're going to go into immediate timeout, folks. It's been an entertaining one here under the bright lights at Toyota Arena. St. Louis Ambush with the equalizer. The score, 2-2. We'll be back in just a moment.
Loma Linda University invites you to join our open house on Sunday, January 25. Learn about your program of interest and how you can advance your career in health sciences. You'll tour our campus, meet students, network with faculty, and connect with professionals in the field. Answer your calling and attend Loma Linda University's open house. Register now at llu.edu/open house. Again, that's llu.edu/open house. I'll see you there.
Here for giggles. Here for support. Here for healing. Here for courage. Here for moments. San Antonio Regional Hospital. Here for life.
Today in America, 11 million children are living in poverty, in desperate need of food, academic support, and stable housing. Children who face staggering challenges and who are more likely to experience health problems and fall behind in school. But there is hope. At Hope Through Housing, we are changing lives. We provide children with the support they need to dream, learn, and break the cycle of poverty. Your gift today can make a world of difference in the life of a child.
Loma Linda University Health and the Inland Empire Strykers have come together to support our community with the shared focus on health and fitness. The partnership reinforces both organizations' commitment to helping families thrive on and off the field. Together, we aim to build a stronger, healthier future for our Inland Empire region.
4 minutes and 33 remaining here in the second quarter. We're deadlocked at 2 goals apiece. Only goal here in the second quarter was scored by Jeff Mashad, assisted by Daniel Torre Alba. All the other 3 goals took place in the first quarter. Robert Palmer to close out the first quarter. William Eske and Justin Stinson. That has us where we currently are in the score. Empire, though, with the edge on St. Louis. 9 shots to St. Louis's 5. St. Louis very efficient when it comes to their conversion rate. Intercepted by Diaz. Taken. There's a shot saved by Orozco. Excellent opportunity by Larson Rogers. Rogers inserting his name offensively out of Logan, Utah. First year in St. Louis, second year in the MASL. He was a rookie with the Wave. Off the wall of score opportunity. Too much for Togba. And Diaz gets in the way. Diaz, who featured with the Cuban national futsal team. We got a great interview with him on our Spanish broadcast done by our Spanish-speaking commentary team, Pablo Morales, along with Julio Ramos. The Spanish version of this game is on, of course, Fox Sports, but on MASL, there's a YouTube channel. Taken away, off the wall, bounced by Togba. There's a quick whistle by the officials. It's going to stay on this end. It's going to allow both teams to do a line change, so to speak, to steal a term from hockey.
Get their specialists out there for this.
Keep your eyes on Briggs on that far post. Briggs, the much taller player as opposed to Berto Palmer. Briggs standing about 6'2", 6'3". Also, Carvalho on that far end. And if there's anybody that can connect with his teammates, it's Almeida. Off the wall, cleaned up by Perez. Torrealba's going to head it back to Nascimento. Paulo playing it to Almeida. Cleaned up once again by Perez into Alami. Alami gets tripped up. St. Louis is going to get called for the foul.
That was a tough call, I think. That was just physics.
That it was, but I mean, Ryan Sigic was directly in front of it. Had a little better angle than you and I did. And Somo's going to get called for the foul. Blue card, yes, the hands to the face on Torrealba. Somo got dispossessed.
Just don't want to lose the ball at your feet because the reactionary movements that you have immediately after that cost you. You just kind of see here, he lost it, and then he just grabbed into fight. Chicken wings him right in the neck.
So Somo is going to go into the box. 2 minutes. And look, we've highlighted it already. St. Louis, a dangerous team on the power play. They're already 1 for 1 today. 2 for 4 on the season. 50%. That's pretty darn good. I know it's early in the season, but that's still pretty darn good.
Like better than my dating percentage.
I'm going to leave that one alone, considering your wife is pretty close by. Almeida off the wall, poked away by Polo. How's about that for an alliteration? Under 3 to go. Martinez over to Almeida. Martinez, who's been in St. Louis for 3 weeks, mentioned that the first thing he saw when he got off the airplane was 5 inches of snow. Obviously, as a Southern California native, you don't get to see much snow up here unless you're driving out to the mountains. It's a beautiful thing about life out here. You literally can ski and surf all in the same day.
I don't like snow.
Neither do I. The dandruff of the gods, in my opinion. Pass into Esque. Palmer with the block, but look at the chemistry, the ball movement between Carvalho and Esque.
That was pretty cheeky there.
Cheeky indeed.
I like the shape of the Strikers. You know, they kind of go on that diamond because they're pushing the 3 on the high and they drop into the box. But so giving a couple of problems, but good so far.
Mansoret sprinting up top. Mansoret, who has been a member of this organization for quite some time, scoring a huge goal against San Diego in the Ron Newman Cup Finals back in 2021. Played college soccer at Wilmington University in Delaware. The pass into Esque. Esque ding-dongs it off the upper right post. Palmer showing us why he making a case for a track start too. But Mansoret not only played soccer at Wilmington, ran track too. And from what I was told, well, the Somo brothers may or may have not beaten him in a all-out sprint contest at practice early this season, which blows my mind considering how fast Mansoret is. Pass off the wall. Perez fires it. He ding-dongs it off the far left post. Another great opportunity for Empire as we're under 90 seconds here in the second quarter. A near shorthanded goal for the Strikers. St. Louis should have a sigh of relief there as that was a close call. Carvalho.
Well, Alan felt your dialogue on being quick and he wanted to show you he's still there. Oh, what opportunistic.
And Somo coming right out of the box. Isak with the shot. He ding-dongs it as well. Another missed opportunity for Empire. Clanking off both ends of the post here in the dying moments of the second quarter. Isak, it doesn't get any better than that. Coming right out of the box. A one-on-one with the keeper. Had him beat. Just managed to clank it. Zombie Nation playing loud on the loudspeakers, but there are no zombies in this building right here. As both teams are fired up with under 40 seconds remaining here in the second quarter.
Strykers should just look for some quality here.
Strykers looking to hang on to possession and fire the last shot. We saw how quickly they managed to score as the first quarter was set to expire. Ali. So just not to confuse the fans out there anymore, Ali and his brother Isak, both with the last name Somo, we're going to refer to them from here on out by their first name. Pass in to Chavez. Chavez over to Fabian. Fabian with about 5 seconds remaining. Boots it, and that's going to come off of SK and Mashad. O'Keefe is going to kick it out of danger, and that's going to be it for the second quarter as the horn blows. We've got ourselves an incredibly entertaining game of indoor soccer here at Toyota Arena.
Yeah, I love it. We're running, they're gunning, and just kind of hitting posts and everything else they can hit. We've got 3 goals off a bank, so it's not your traditional goals, but it's certainly exciting and just creating chances. So I mean, I think it's going to lend itself to some goals in the second half for sure.
The beauty of indoor soccer is scores can change dramatically and the goals can pile on quickly. No game will ever end in a tie, and if we have an overtime, there's a golden goal. If after that overtime, there'll be a shootout. So somebody's going to walk out with a dub. And at this point, it's really anybody's game.
Yeah, well, one of the coaches is going to give it's a game of inches speech,
And so we're just moments away from an interview between our sideline reporter, Amanda Filliman, and head coach of the Empire Strykers, Onua Obasi. See if we could take a look at possibly some stats. And there we are. Shout out to our broadcast crew. There we see the goals, 2-2. Shots on goal, very, very close. The saves between all the keepers, 4 keepers to be precise, between Ogaz and Nascimento on St. Louis and Orozco and Gomez on Empire. But St. Louis just a tad bit cheekier when it comes to the physical play. 11 fouls to 6.
Yeah, everything fairly level as the scoreboard indicates. And, like you said, cheeky might be the word.
We've used that word 3 times. In fact, that's on your bingo card. We'll make it a fun game. If you hear cheeky, you got to knock back a sip of your favorite beverage. All right, let's go down to Panda as she's standing by right now to get the thoughts of Empire Strykers head coach Onua Obasi. Take it away, Panda.
Hey guys, I'm here with Coach Onua Obasi. Statistically and scoreline, evenly matched right now, these 2 teams, but St. Louis is a big team and brought the physicality. How do you feel they are handling that so far?
Yeah, we started well actually. We started well, but they grew into the game. I think a lot of our own mistakes really. 2 blue cards, for me, silly blue cards, and that's 4 minutes of momentum lost in the game right there. So, disappointing. We talk about not giving fouls like that, and sometimes it's, players aren't always thinking like how you want them to think. But now St. Louis have done well. I think evenly matched. I think if we put our shots a little better placed, I think the game could look a little differently. But this is football. You don't score and then they will score.
Yeah, St. Louis seems ready to pounce on any open net opportunity that your system tends to open up for them. How do you make yourself less vulnerable in the second half to those opportunities?
Yeah, it's been disappointing, that element of our game. I think guys missing like easy passes, easy touches. For me, it's strange because we train and we, but that's the thing. The game is different, the pressure's different, the noise is different. So some elements are just growing pains. But I think we could have a little more quality understanding to keep us out, and if we want that to be an advantage, we can't keep giving turnovers like that. It's just obvious.
All right, good luck in the second half, Coach.
Thanks a lot. Cheers.
Thank you.
Great questions, Panda. Great insight from the MASL Coach of the Year, Onua Obasi. Panda must have been on a box there because Coach is about 6'3", 6'4", and Panda was very close to seeing eye to eye. Coach, any final thoughts before we head to the half? Actually, forget that. We don't have enough time for that. Folks, we're going to step aside for halftime, but stick around. Plenty more to happen here at Toyota Arena. 2-2 the score. Stick around for halftime highlights and stats. We'll be back to start the third momentarily.
roll. 1, 2, 3, let's go. I see you staring, but don't want no smoke. I hear you talking, but I'm here for the show. Don't get it twisted, baby, I snatch soul. If you murder, she roll. 1, 2, 3, let's go. I see you staring, but don't want no smoke. I hear you talking, but I'm here for the show.
We had 6 home, 6 break. We don't.
Happy holidays from National Corps and the Hope Through Housing Foundation. We are proud partners of the Empire Strykers. Thank you so much to all of the Empire Striker players for continuing to come out and support all of the children and families in our communities. We wish you and your families a very safe and healthy holiday season. Let's go Strykers!
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely excited to talk to you. Let's talk about, you've had 10 seasons now in the MASL, and 70% of that has been spent with our Strykers. What is it about this team in this area that just brings you back?
Oh, well, I mean, as you guys know, I went to school around here, so to me this was home. I'm from San Diego, but to me this is home. I always loved the city, and I always knew I wanted to come back.
You went to Cal State Bernardino.
San Bernardino, yes.
Now, you did take some time away from here and go to San Diego for one, and then you spent 2 seasons with the Outlaws, and if you look at your stats, you had up to that point one of your best seasons. What do you think it was about that season that really let you shine?
I just feel like I was able to let loose, play a little more free. Coaches gave me a little more confidence to just do what you know to do. You know, and I always knew what I could do. You know, I just needed that extra push, I guess.
Seems like you got it and you brought it to the Strykers because last season, the first season back here, you were able to have your best season yet, and you really signed in the assist category as a passing master. What was it about Obasi's system that you brought out the best?
Oh, well, I just feel like Obasi's system is we keep the ball out. I'm a player that loves to have the ball, you know, and to be honest, I've never really been a player with stats. I'm always a low-key kind of player, you know what I mean? But no, it just allows me to have the ball, allows me to find, we have a very, very good team. You could just get points, probably just giving it to Marco or giving it to Justin, you know what I mean? So.
I'm sure, yeah, you guys definitely proved that last season and making the playoffs. This season,
the only thing on our mind is the championship. And we feel like we have the team for it this year. And I feel like, there is less teams, but it doesn't change the fact that it's still going to be a hard road there.
Yeah.
But I feel like we really have a really good shot this year.
Say less teams, but arguably more competitive for sure across the board. Now let's pivot just a little bit because I want to ask you about this TST.
Oh man.
Bumpy pitch. What a wild ride. Just tell us in a nutshell, what was that experience like?
Man, it was incredible, unbelievable. Well, as you guys knew, it was basically the whole roster was MASL. You know, so we kind of understand the small-sidedness. But coming from that locker room, playing with this locker room, and it was a great feeling because we saw the support from Empire, from the league, you know, and we felt like every game we got better. Every game we knew, okay, there's better teams out there, but we know what we have. We know what we have to do to come out on top, you know, and I feel like we grew as a team every game.
Are you looking forward to doing it again
Oh,
this next season?
Hopefully.
All right. I can't wait to see you guys out there. I know we'll be there. I know Philly's going to be calling some games. We'll be there supporting you guys and hope you can raise that trophy and throw it on the ground one more time.
I know, right? Everybody got mad about that.
Nah. It's winning. It's fun. So,
No,
but can't wait. Good luck on the season, you guys.
Thank you.
You
Thank you.
started out great. I can't wait to see what you guys can do tonight.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
One, two, three, let's go. I see you staring, but don't want no smoke. I hear you talking, but I'm here for the show. Don't get it twisted, baby, I snatch souls. If you murder, she wrote. 1, 2, 3, let's go. I see you staring, but don't want no smoke. I hear you talking, but I'm here for the show. Don't get it twisted, baby, I snatch souls. If you murder, she wrote. 1, 2, 3, let's go. I see you staring, but don't want no smoke. I hear you talking, but I'm here for the show.
Wait, 6 miles, runway 6 right, clear to land.
Happy holidays from National Corps and the Hope Through Housing Foundation. We are proud partners of the Empire Strykers. Thank you so much to all of the Empire Striker players for continuing to come out and support all of the children and families in our communities. We wish you and your families a very safe and healthy holiday season. Let's go, Strykers!
Shoot! He scores!
This is MASL in 5. How goes it, folks? I'm Alex Bashavansky, back here in our league studio. Hope all is well in your world. There's a ton to cover today as we look at what's going on in the league right now. So let's get to it.
Torrealba's got a chance here. 1v1 versus Sanchez. Cuts inside, gets a shot, and he's back it on the wall, on the ground. He beats Martin Henry, and the ambush win!
It was a wild and wacky week 3 in the MASL. Let's start with St. Louis hosting Milwaukee. The Wave was flying high after a 2-0 start to the season, but the 0-2 ambush grabbed its first win of the campaign, knocking them off 7-6 in OT. That result was all the more shocking as Milwaukee had knocked off Kansas City on Friday night, 9-6. After beating San Diego in their opener, they were hot. Proof that this season is going to be just completely unpredictable. It was the first action of the season for Tacoma, who was hosting Baltimore for 2 games. The Blast was coming off an 11-3 destruction of Kansas City. We didn't know what to make of Tacoma. We do now. They'll be tough. They took down the Blast in both games, winning 3-2 Friday, 8-6 on Sunday. San Diego, incredibly, was looking for its first win of the season. That's right. Shockingly, they started off 0-2 on the campaign, but they got revenge on Empire, who knocked them off in their home opener. Well, Nick Pereira got his first tally as a soccer, and the Blue and Gold took the contest 6-3. Utica was trying to notch their first win of the season against Kansas City, but after taking the Comets to overtime the week before, this one wasn't really close. The Comets cruised and ultimately took it 11-5. A few hot players to tell you about from week 3. Zach Reggett, he just continues to be hot. 4 goals and 2 assists over 2 games for the Comets, and as you'll see, he's now leading the league scoring race. Ian Bennett, the ageless wonder, 42 years old, if you can believe it, and still going strong. He looks like a youngster out there, picking up a hat trick against the St. Louis ambush. Leo de Oliveira, 2 goals and 1 assist for the Blue and Gold, helping San Diego pick up their first win of the campaign as they walked into Empire and took that one. Tyler John seeing his first action of the season with the Tacoma Stars, and he picked up a hat trick in Game 2, including the game winner right there for the Stars against the Baltimore Blast. And Sergio Pinal, 2 goals and 2 assists against KC on Sunday. This after notching 3 points opening weekend. He's got 7 points so far, and he's only an MASL rookie. He's adapting perfectly to arena soccer. Your scoring leaders, all Kansas City, if you can believe it. Reggett leading the way with 14 points. Dom Francis, man, he's even good this season. 10 points so far. Then it's Andreos with 9, Marquez with 8, and Mijatovic with 8 points as well. Your players of the week in goal: Luis Beretta from the Tacoma Stars, Dominic Francis offensively from KC, and Mario Alvarez getting the defensive nod from the Milwaukee Wave. But Alvarez was getting it done on both ends of the floor, defensively and offensively. 2 goals and 2 assists in those 2 Wave games in Week 3. Dominic Francis, 2 goals and 3 assists in those 2 Comet games, and Dom really settling into life as a KC Comet. He's loving it there, surrounded by all that talent. And as mentioned in goal, Beretta, huge, 23 saves he made. Good ball distribution as well in those 2 Tacoma Stars victory over the Baltimore Blast. Okay, time now for your plays of the week.
Moves to his right, now his left. Look out, Sanchez from downtown. Legacy Stone up to SK. SK off the schneid.
To the right, into Nick Pereira. Shot and a goal. Upper shelf to Leo Oliveira of San Diego.
For Utica City FC, Coronado heads it up. Rebound scored. All of them you're happy about playing. As that one's fired in and scored. It's Mijatovic to tie things at 1.
The 4 players are going to move almost as a full.
And there is the go-ahead goal. The Tacoma Stars off a deflection. Tyler and John with the goals.
Bennett from deep. Oh, the screamer! From a step outside the line, this game is tied up. The shot off the wall again, though. Torrealba's got a chance here. 1v1 versus Sanchez. Cuts inside, gets a shot, and he's behind it! On the wall, on the ground! He beats Martin Henry, and the ambush win! Danielle Torrealba, the new ambush, sends them home winners for the first time this season!
And that's all the time we've got for this week's show. But just a reminder to stay up to date on everything that's going on in the MASL all throughout the season. Be sure to check out the league's official social media outlets. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Society has an obligation to help others when others are struggling. Families can become distressed because they lose their father. Now a mother's forced to raise their 3 children. How does she get a job? How does she create the means to take care of her kids?
For nearly 30 years, National Core and Hope Through Housing have changed the lives of hundreds of thousands of individuals, providing housing, offering hope, transforming communities. National Core and Hope Through Housing, building the future of community.
Here for giggles. Here for support. Here for healing. Here for courage. Here for moments. San Antonio Regional Hospital. Here for life.
One, two, three, let's go. I see you staring but don't want no smoke. I hear you talking but I'm here for the show. Don't get it twisted, baby, I snatch souls. If you murder, she roll. 1, 2, 3, let's go. I see you staring but don't want no smoke. I hear you talking but I'm here for the show. Don't get it twisted, baby, I snatch souls. If you murder, she roll. 1, 2, 3, let's go. I see you staring but don't want no smoke. I hear you talking but I'm here for the show.
A passionate owner can be described as one who goes beyond financial investments and treats the team, business, or project as a living identity. They're emotionally invested, visibly engaged, and consistently present. A passionate owner champions culture, empowers people, protects standards, and cares as deeply about the journey as the results. In layman's terms, someone who doesn't just sign checks. They show up, speak up, take pride, feel the wins, absorb the losses, and act like a steward rather than a spectator. And the reason why I mention that is because it is my honor and privilege to welcome the managing partner, he hates the word owner, managing partner of the Empire Strykers and the president of the Owners Association, Mr. Jeff Burham. Jeff, welcome to the broadcast.
Thanks, Philly. I appreciate on a day like today getting up here and be able to be calm for a few moments.
So, you said calm. I know you're the furthest thing from calm, an adjective that I probably wouldn't use to describe you normally. Dare I ask what your thoughts are in the first half?
Well, I mean, we started off real well. I think we got like 8 shots off before they got 1 off. We missed them, and then we started turning the ball over. I mean, I think it's it's going to be. We knew it was going to be a tough, close game. Ambush had a obviously great last game against Milwaukee. We knew they were going to be tough. We knew they were coming out here to send us a message after our last loss. We just got to play better. You can't turn the ball over. Our style of play, you can't turn the ball over.
Turnovers have been detrimental, no question about that. Now, one of the reasons I wanted to bring you up here is I wanted to talk about the 18th annual Colony's Holiday Miracles. Now, you've been doing this 18 years. It's where 200 families get selected from local nonprofits to participate in a shopping spree, accompanied by first responders and volunteers to shop at places like Kohl's, Targets, and Dick's Sporting Goods. Every child, every family got a gift card, but not just a regular gift card. We're talking $200 worth of a gift card for each family. Like, talk to us about the genesis of this event and its long and illustrious history.
Well, I used to participate with a program called Shop with the Cop, and then next thing I owned my own shopping center, and thought instead of going to someone else's shopping center and giving them money to give out to kids, we'd start our own program with the police and firemen, and we talked Target, Dick's, Kohl's into helping us. Albertsons, Vaughn's group has come together with us, and so not only do they get to shop, they get a holiday meal, but it's our way to be a business leader in our community where we try to set an example of what other people could do in similar circumstances.
And it's not just the gift cards and the shopping spree. I mean, you're giving them Christmas trees as well, am I right?
Yeah, any family that needs a Christmas tree and ornaments, we also provide that. It's all credit goes to my team that does it all on their own now. It was easy to come up with the idea, but it's much tougher for people to put together. And Lisa Schaefer on my team runs that event, pulls all the volunteers. We get about 1,000 volunteers that day, helping to walk the kids through the setup, the takedown, cook the food. You get all those firemen doing pancake breakfast, griddle breakfast for the kids. So it was a great holiday event. I look forward to it every year. There's nothing like seeing a child come out of Dick's with their first bicycle in their life. So makes you smile.
You're beyond proud of, and you do so many amazing philanthropic events as the Strykers do have the ball at the top of the arc. The pass in, Fabian backheel, that goes off of Palmer into Deduca Carvalho. So you talk about how you want to get involved in the community. You have the Strykers coming out to so many different events. Talk to us about the Empire Strykers' role in the Inland Empire and in this community as a whole.
Well, in the Inland Empire, we're the only major sports league team that plays out here. Most of the other ones are feeder clubs. And so I think it's important when you have players like ours that have the ability to feel and touch children in the community, that they do their job of giving back. And that's part of our contracts with our employees during the season. We try to employ most of them in the off season so they continue to do, business mixers, hospital trips, school trips, to help motivate people in our community so that children, in today's world where the average child spends 7 hours at a video game or, watching television, and the average child spends less than 10 minutes of active, outside physical activity. We got to change that. Diabetes 2 is on the rise in the United States. We got to do something about it, and that's our, way of giving back and trying to get the kids out of their house.
And one of the events that you did over the summer is you ran one of the largest free soccer camp clinics in the country. You had all the local outlets out here, ESPN LA, the Los Angeles Times, if I'm not mistaken, largest free youth soccer camp. Talk to us about the success of that event over the summer.
Well, I mean, we wanted to see how many kids we could get through in a week, and and how many coaches we could get out there to help, from our team to others. We brought in some other players and some other coaches from around to be able to help with these couple thousand kids. But sometimes in life you gotta dream big, and you gotta try harder, and you gotta see what you can do. I think we've proven we can do it now. Now we're pushing for a bunch of sponsors to help us do it year round.
And you had a lot of kids, and one of the things you also pride yourself on is the number of appearances that the Empire Strykers made comparatively to all the other local teams. How many appearances did the Empire Strykers players have across the entire 2025 year?
I think we're at about 192 right now, and so we're trying to get to the 200, which we'll do over the holiday season. So our goal this year was to set a record for ourselves and do 200. We did about 130 last year.
That's incredible. Obviously, the Strykers are out in the community in the Inland Empire, like you indicated, one of the most underserved communities in the Southern California area, and you're doing an amazing job bridging that gap, showing entertainment to people out here in the Inland Empire. Now, we're talking about the philanthropic endeavors. Let's talk about the business stuff. Obviously, you're part of the president of the owners group. Can you talk to us? Can you shed any light on any amazing, incredible things we can look forward to turn of the new year?
Well, I mean, I think hopefully most of our fans have seen that we've really tried to increase the standards in order for us to grow this league. The standards both on the play on the pitch, the broadcast, the arenas are key for other investors, other owners to want to come in and invest in this league. So we've been working on the standards, and with those standards, we've been increasing. As you know, Philly is now our new director of sales for the league. We're having some of the largest companies in the world for the first time talk to the MASL that they wouldn't answer a phone call a year or two ago. Now we're getting in deep with them in serious discussions. We're going to set a international record of number of views this year on our on our people watching our broadcast. We're hoping to beat 20 million viewers worldwide this year, and I think people don't realize that here in the U.S. that are fans of St. Louis or Kansas City or Baltimore, they don't see the broadcasts that are going on in Europe and going on in Mexico right now. But we got to keep just grinding and doing what we know how to do to increase the standards, and hopefully we'll make a difference.
Well, appreciate you and your time. Look, I know you're chomping at the bit, wanting to get back to watching this game. You're always front row. It's entertaining you from our perspective, watching how animated you are from this level. But I just want to again thank you so much for your time, the opportunity you've given me personally and professionally. I thank you for your friendship, and obviously I've been very fortunate to call you friend over these past couple of years. Thank you again, and enjoy the rest of the game.
Great. Go Strykers.
Ladies and gentlemen, managing partner of the Empire Strykers and the president of the owners group, Mr. Jeff Burham. Jeff, I don't exaggerate when I say he's a passionate owner. As that attempt by Chavez just goes to the right. We bring back Artie Kyrell on the broadcast. Artie, an interesting first 5 minutes of this game. Both teams kind of checking one another back and forth.
Yeah, they're just kind of going after each other, a little raggedy at times, but everyone's kind of pushing. You can feel, they sense that there's the game to take, and they're doing what they need to do to go after it. But it's a nice push-pull right now.
This is the second of 2 games on CBS Sports Golazo Network. Earlier, we had an incredible contest between Milwaukee and Baltimore, a game in which the Wave won in overtime, beating the Blast 7-6. We could be on the precipice of something similar here at Toyota Arena as Justin Stinson fires it, and there seems to be a magnet right on that Strykers part of the boards. Is that element right there? That board has taken more shots than and made more saves than Nascimento here in the second half.
You're gonna have to do a study, I think, Philly. Goalkeepers get bright jerseys so the eye of the shooter attracts to the goalkeeper shirt. Maybe that white paint, it's so bright. It's just attracting their ocular
What we see is real bright is the top of Justin Stinson's hair is once again going right into that Strykers logo. Stinson broke his scoring drought within the first quarter, striking first. First goal of the season, first goal of the game, assisted by Isak Somo. William Eske would get the equalizer, and then in the dying moments of that first quarter, it would be Robert Palmer, first power play goal of the season for Empire, first goal of the season for the captain, put the Strykers up 2-1, and then Jeff Machad from Daniel Torrealba on a well-run 2-on-1 counter has us knotted up at 2-2 here. 8:29 remaining in the third quarter. Strykers, though, dominating the possession here in these later stages of the third quarter.
Looks like St. Louis has kind of dropped in a little bit.
Shot fired, and that clickety-clank ding-dongs off the post.
That's what I was just going to say. They kind of dropped in, and this really favors the Strykers. They're getting the possession about the yellow line, but certainly above the midline, whereas they finished the second half kind of behind the midline and didn't get a quality chance. So just curious to see what St. Louis is thinking here, because I thought he was going to let it fly.
The amount of times the Strykers have hit the post, you might as well start calling those paint chippers, because they're ding-donging it consistently. That's probably the fourth time that the post has been a factor denying the Strykers from scoring. Stinson over on that left side, trying to find some space. Ciro Oliveira tracking in. The pass over from Fabian to Alami. The two leading scores. Fabian shot fires, saved by Nascimento.
Save.
Paulo getting his paws on that attempt, thwarting the Strykers' attack.
He just hits that deceptively strong. You know what I mean? He put some pace to that. Just proper technique. That wasn't, though.
Togba with the turnover shot, and Orozco gets his hands on the header. That ding-dongs as well. Another attempt and a goal. This time, Jeff Machad, his second goal of the game, currently sitting and having the St. Louis ambush go up by a score of 3-2. The Strykers once again turn the ball over in a dangerous position, and St. Louis pounces on it.
We talked about it last time. You can't defend with your eyes and neck. You've got to move your feet to get there. We had three players there.
All right, folks, we're heading to a break. Media timeout. 3-2 ambush. Jeff Machad, his second goal of the game.
Society has an obligation to help others when others are struggling. Families can become distressed because they lose their father. Now a mother's forced to raise their 3 children. How does she get a job? How does she create the means to take care of her kids?
For nearly 30 years, National Core and Hope Through Housing have changed the lives of hundreds of thousands of individuals, providing housing, offering hope, transforming communities. National Core and Hope Through Housing, building the future of community.
1, 2, 3, let's go. I see you staring, but don't want no smoke. I hear you talking, but I'm here for the show. Don't get it twisted, baby, I snatch souls. If you murder, she roll. 1, 2, 3, let's go. I see you staring, but don't want no smoke. I hear you talking, but I'm here for the show. Don't get it twisted, baby, I snatch souls. If you murder, she roll. 1, 2, 3, let's go. I see you staring, but don't want no smoke. I hear you talking, but I'm here for the show.
Loma Linda University invites you to join our open house on Sunday, January 25. Learn about your program of interest and how you can advance your career in health sciences. You'll tour our campus, meet students, network with faculty, and connect with professionals in the field. Answer your calling and attend Loma Linda University's open house. Register now at llu.edu/open house. Again, that's llu.edu/open house. I'll see you there.
MASLsoccer.com is your home for everything Major Arena Soccer League. All the latest news, leaderboards, highlights, and more. Capelli Sport is the official and exclusive preferred uniform and apparel provider of the Major Arena Soccer League. Visit MASLsoccer.com to shop the all-new MASL fan store for the latest MASL and team gear. There's a foul down on the turf, and that's going to go against the Empire Strykers as Walter Diaz is going to get called for the infraction of foul on Carvalho. Let's talk about, though, the fact that St. Louis has just taken their they're taking the lead of the game. Another goal courtesy of Jeff Machad, and it's because the Strykers have had a difficult time clearing things from their defensive third of the field.
Just opportunistic, you know. Machad found a line that he could score with. I mean, there were 3 defenders inside the arc there, so, you know, I mean, you got to account for the ball, but you also have to count shoulders of potential other scorers, you know, which Mashad was. He was there on the back stick for a simple goal. So, you know, you can't defend with your eyes and neck, you know. You got to defend with your feet. You got to move your feet. So we'll see what happens, but got to improve on that component. That's 2 consecutive games with that error.
Mashad scored 3 goals all of last season. He's got 2 goals today. Career-wise, though, 48 games played, 20 goals, 21 assists, 41 points, but tack on 2 more goals this season. Jeff Mashad's had himself a heck of a game. And I know there was a time that he was linked to potentially coming to Ontario, California, but out of West Palm Beach, he found himself a home in St. Louis. And, well, he's thriving and succeeding as Carvalho's attempt. That comes off of the Strykers podcast board. Check out Soccer in 60, by the way, on the Empire Strykers YouTube page. Talks about a lot of the local soccer within the greater Los Angeles area. Pass from Berto, Palmer into Orozco. Orozco puts his defender in his pocket, over to Ali Somo. Under 6 remaining here in the third. Ambush with the lead, 3-2. Ball comes into Stinson. Stinson marked momentarily by Eske. Strykers are looking to spread the ball around, try to pry open the defensive unit of the ambush. Palmer, who registered his first goal of the season, quarterbacking the attack as that pass comes into Ali Somo in his first game with the Strykers. He fires it off of the plexi. Palmer over to Perez. Perez's shot, and that's going to come out of play.
Yeah, St. Louis is just kind of dropping in, and then when they go inside shoulder to go to their shooting foot, they're dropping over to cover that, you know, that second defender. So it's kind of discombobulating the guys on the edges, trying to create that isolation. So they're doing well there, and they've also made the adjustment with pressuring Brian on the dribble. So it's had a little bit of an influence to how they're playing. So now it's a matter of, you know, who's going to execute quicker.
Over to Alami. The pass into Polo.
Well, this is better for Justin because Justin's here he can go right shoulder because he's got Eske there pushing him wide actually, and then he can uncork that right foot. So let's see. So again, now he's going to go left-footed. He's got that wall there. Cassis, the guy on the right there, taking that cover. So here we go. Another one.
Under 5 to go here in this third quarter. Hernandez into Isak. Isak had an assist earlier in the game. Almost had himself a great opportunity coming out of the penalty box in that second quarter. Over to Fabian. Fabian has had a couple of shots that he's fired, but for the most part, relatively quiet in tonight's match. Not to say that he's been neutralized. He just hasn't had very many clean looks at Nascimento.
Just seems to be a tendency with the Strykers here now, you know, in the third quarter right about now. They start to slow the tempo and don't move it as quickly to that edge to kind of go. See, they're able to rotate over and get good shape there, as you can see. You know, Mashad was there for the cover off of Williams' shoulder. Same thing here. So as they rotate, that's better. Then he's got to go. Maybe take that right-footed. He could touch it at an angle forward.
Fabian with the look, bottom left. Somo in a similar position that Fabian just fired away. But that ricochets back over to Stinson, under 4 here in the third, excuse me.
Well, you saw there with Fabian, you know, with Marco's tempo and hitting that ball, right? He gets it and he hits it, whereas, you know, the other guys are just kind of, see there? It's a shorter preparation. Remember, the first touch is a preparation touch. The second touch is an execution touch, right? And so if your preparation touch is poor, then your execution touch is not in rhythm.
Stinson.
He's got a good ISO.
Polo was looking to set a screen. Off the wall, Polo sticking with it, fighting with Eske.
I guess if you set the screen, but you look like you're trying to catch the Nest bus, there's no foul.
That bounce is headed by Orozco. Dangerous scenario as Eske and Orozco nearly had 50-50 ball. Somo gets in the way of that pass from Almeida to Eske. There's Mashad once again, aggressive in his nature. Alami with some space to maneuver. Getting by O'Keefe. O'Keefe tugging directly on Alami's jersey.
O'Keefe's just Energizer Bunny. Look at him. Just going.
He wins it back for St. Louis. Sprinting right past Ciro Oliveira. The official's going to blow a whistle. It's going to be a restart here for St. Louis.
Restart.
So Almeida on the restart. Carvalho in there, and that took a weird deflection from Torrealba. Torrealba, 5 goals coming into this game, but has 1 crucial assist, sitting on 6 points currently this season. One of the top point getters in MASL in the infancy of this year. So happy that the longest offseason in professional sports is over. That shot deflects right off of someone. Another attempt, saved by Orozco and cleared by Ciro.
That's 2 players, 1 on each team, just doing a spectacular job in their position.
Ramalho won it back, but he hits the deck, battling with former Strykers player Randy Martinez. Here we are with 2 minutes and 14 remaining in the third.
MGR Real Estate. And
folks, we're taking a look at some images of the free youth camp that was run by the Empire Strykers over the summer. Yeah, during the summer of 2025. Again, the biggest youth summer camp. You talked about how Jeff Burham wanted to instill more community involvement. Soccer is for everybody, and the Empire Strykers did a fantastic job opening that up. As we know, soccer clubs, academies, they're not cheap. And so what the Empire Strykers are looking to do, obviously, is give the opportunity to anybody in here to play soccer, to learn from professional athletes. And there you see in that footage, Justin Stinson, who scored a goal in this game, that footage. And as you see, over 500 kids were at this camp, and it was all taken by the Empire Strykers. A fantastic philanthropic opportunity done by Jeff Burham and this organization. And that's one of the many reasons why this organization continues to thrive in the Inland Empire, because obviously this is a professional sports team, but what they've done and what they've given back to the community of Ontario, in particular everything within the Inland Empire that encompasses a huge region, very admirable.
100%. I mean, even when I was coaching here, we were doing camps all through the summer, 100-degree temperatures, getting large amounts of kids, still having a great time. You know, a lot of time in the misters when it was over triple digits, but just doing a lot of that. In the Colony event, I was blessed to work that event as well, and just seeing the joy of the kids and what they're doing for the kids, and the engagement of the players in there is just outstanding.
Carvalho shot ricochets off the plexi, goes right into the capable tootsies of Torrealba. Another fun alliteration, by the way. Backheel pass to Carvalho. Into the right, Williamson shot and he scores. Upper right corner, summon Uncle Franz. It's where he keeps the good stops. Williamson scores, doubling up on the lead. St. Louis up 4-2.
You know, I say it all the time, you know, if it's not in rhythm, it's not on, and you can just say there with Williamson, it completely on rhythm. I mean, just look at his stride as he approaches the ball. It's all right. I mean, just great unselfish post-up play, coming underneath it. It's what they do in the warm-up. Just simple, going top shelf. It's the only place you could beat Brian right there was top shelf, and he just hit it. And funny enough, when we were watching the pregame warm-ups, he was trying that shot all warm-up. So practice what you preach there.
Fishkill, New York's finest, finds the back of the net. Last season, 7 goals, 3 assists. Finds a big one here for St. Louis as they take a nice 4-2 lead here. So we're approaching 90 seconds remaining here in this third quarter. St. Louis was down, and they continue to claw and fight back up, and sitting in a nice position here late in the late stages of the match. Stinson looking to find some space. He fires it in, but Nascimento, no problem on that save.
Strikers have to create an opportunity where they're getting St. Louis facing the boards on chances. Everything's in front of them. They can just sit there compact, bounce out when they need, cover when they need. They've got to create more scrambles, let their athleticism come into play in this contest for the last quarter.
They've sat back and absorbed a lot of pressure from Empire, and they've been very methodical in how they've decided to attack. And so we haven't really seen Brian Orozco come out very much, because St. Louis has been pinballing it in the Strikers' direction throughout the entire match, creating chaos, creating havoc, winning those balls and firing it past Orozco and Gomez. Jeff Locker and company have had a nice game plan, nice X's and O's, and they're taking advantage of this young upstart Strikers team.
Well, they're just dictating the possession. They're saying, you know, yes, Strikers, you're going to have the ball a lot, but you're going to have the ball a lot where we say you can have it. And that's kind of what's going on right now, right? They don't really care that they have the ball here or connect the pass. Connecting passes doesn't win you games. Okay, so they've got to increase. So again, they got to put themselves in spots to get ambush facing the boards.
4 seconds remaining. Fabian's going to have to operate quick. And Strykers unable to fire one more shot off as the third quarter expires. But this third quarter has been absolutely dominated by the ambush. Goals by Jeff Mashad and Robert Williamson, assisted by Christian Briggs and Larson Rogers, puts them up against the home team Strykers by a comfortable score of 4-2. Folks, we're going to head to a break, and when we come back, we start the fourth quarter. Will the ambush hang on, or will the Strykers storm back? Stick around to find out that answer.
Wait, 6 miles, runway 6 right, we don't.
Here for giggles. Here for support. Here for healing. Here for courage. Here for moments. San Antonio Regional Hospital. Here for life.
Happy holidays from National Corps and the Hope Through Housing Foundation. We are proud partners of the Empire Strykers. Thank you so much to all of the Empire Striker players for continuing to come out and support all of the children and families in our communities. We wish you and your families a very safe and healthy holiday season. Let's go, Strykers!
Get the latest news on the MASL and your favorite teams by following MASL Soccer on Facebook and Instagram, and MASL Arena on Twitter. Catch MASL Monday every Monday night on MASL TV on YouTube and CBS Sports Golazo Network. Alex Bashevansky and Phil Ivanko are joined each week by special guests from across the league to recap the weekend's games and discuss the league's hot topics. If you disagree with a call tonight, you might just see it on the MASL's most controversial show, Under Review with Phil Ivanko and MASL head referee Ryan Sigich. Catch it every Friday on YouTube. And heck, Ryan Sigich is in the building. He's wearing the number 2. He's in the house right now. So if you have any complaints, fire it along his way. Ryan Sigich leading the way with officials here in this league. Artie, 4-2 St. Louis ambush. What a third quarter they've had, absolutely dominating the Strykers on the scoring line.
Just 2 games in a row where the Strykers have kind of downshifted in the middle of the third quarter, so it's real important that they come out with some energy and execute quicker. You said it earlier, methodical. That's sort of what the Strykers are methodically going through it. You know, Fabian hit that one in tempo, so they need to do more of that. As far as the St. Louis, just stay disciplined, take away the isolation as much as possible, and just continue to win the scrambles.
And despite the fact that the ambush are up by a score of 4-2, the Strykers have the edge when it comes to shots, 16-12. But St. Louis has been far more efficient in regards to their conversion ratio. For those that are new to the sport and thinking that this game is out of hands for the Empire Strykers, oh, no, 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 no. 4-2 is one of the easier scoring lines to come up with. In fact, we've been on the call for games that have gone into the fourth quarter with a team up 7-3, only for that team with the 7 to end up losing the game. So still a lot of soccer to be played here in these final 15 minutes.
A lot of soccer.
There we hear the decibel level of the Toyota Arena coming up. We've had some pretty good crowds here over the past couple of days. Nearly 6,000 fans on hand the first game of the season as that save from Colin O'Keefe's attempt, kick saved by Brian Orozco. But yeah, the crowd's loud today. Here on this Freaky Friday, Chavez in the midfield, puts on the brakes, goes back over to Somo. Somo into Palmer. Strikers need to strike fast, strike hard, no mercy, and yes, that is a Cobra Kai line. That's going to be a foul assessed to Briggs. Foul on Chavez. Coach, if you were sitting there with your clipboard, what would you have drawn up for Empire coming out of the break?
Well, I wouldn't have drawn up 2 quick chances, that's for sure. You know, coming into the break, like I said earlier, they've got their tempo has to go here, and they definitely need to execute on this set piece, have something that they feel good about in training.
Attempt by Ali Somo, close. Strikers have had that Star Wars Stormtrooper shooting precision, really close, just not quite getting there. They've been firing them towards frame, but just not on frame.
Yeah, I'm hoping that last set piece was actually a driven ball to allow me to nick in, because I don't know if that decision to go forward right there.
Ali over to Palmer. Palmer wearing the captain's armband, one of the best defenders you'll see in the sport of indoor. A multiple-time defender of the year.
You just see here the ambush, all their hips are forward. Every defender hips are forward. So if they win the ball just like this, Mashad's facing forward, they go forward with the ball, they're into the attack. Okay, the middle third, they're kind of sitting in. We notice the top third, they're hunting, so we'll see. They have the low board now, so there's a good change there. Not having to expel any energy to recover.
Playing the Empire strategy incredibly well. Jeff Locker and company have clearly seen a lot of tape, trying to decipher what Obasi ball looks like coming into his sophomore year. Last year, Onu Obasi won the Coach of the Year in the MASL, utilizing the style where you had the extra attacker, a.k.a. the goalkeeper. Palmer over to Fabian. Now's a style, if you are a historian of this game, going back to the days of Ron Newman, the legendary San Diego Sockers coach. He loved to utilize that super attacker with the extra man. Obasi pioneering that system here in this rendition of the Major Arena Soccer League. For those new to the sport, this is a sport that has history tying back to 1978. Isak getting by Togba, gets dragged down. No whistle called as Mashad recovered it, taken back by Stinson. Stinson fighting with O'Keefe. Stinson, the way he just dipsy-doos spinaroos. So impressive the way he maintains possession.
Got Velcro on the bottom of his feet. The ball just sticks. See, this is where they're making him pay. They're losing the ball at their feet.
And just another frustrated foul. A couple of times that Somo gets dispossessed. I mean, there was no foul on him that time, but we saw him get that blue card back in the first half.
It seems as though St. Louis is still allowing that and just kind of dropping off and waiting for the Strikers to just have that poor or inadvertent touch, and then they're jumping and hunting off of that. So being very disciplined and patient, the ambush are. Hey, a little Yoda reference. Oh.
That's the second time we've referenced the great George Lucas's work. At some point, we have to be careful. We're giving him too much free promo here. 3 minutes into this fourth quarter, St. Louis has yet to possess the ball, but Empire not really threatening here, at least not yet. Fabian, that's a dangerous man. Into his left to Anthony Powell, and that's going to be a foul on Torrey Alba as Stinson goes down to the ground. Quick restart.
Catching him on the change.
And look at the slide tackle or slide block by Williamson. Williamson's been playing exceptionally well on both sides of the ball, scoring goals and deflecting balls. He's an important player for this St. Louis ambush team.
MGR Real Estate and MGR Property Management, Southern California's largest independent family-owned real estate company, providing commercial sales and leasing, residential sales and leasing, residential and commercial property management, and homeowner association management. MGR Real Estate Services, the proud sponsor of the Empire Strykers.
Ball gets played in by Martinez, headed out by Diaz, kicked up high into the air by Briggs. Goes right into the hands of our guest after halftime, managing partner of the Strikers, Jeff Burham. He puts the ball back into play.
I like the way two straight opportunities. Marco's just getting the ball and playing quickly. Hopefully the rest of the team kind of recognizes that and sees they've got to catch. They got to catch the ambush before they get set. I mean, again, look, you look down there and every ambush defender's hips are facing forward, so every extension is to the ball.
Stinson tries to meg and go through. Maybe street pana. If we utilize that term, that's a term utilized for megging players. Strikers get the ball back. Yeah, we talk about Fabian. Sometimes it's hard for the outdoor players to make that quick transition into indoor. Stinson getting by O'Keefe. Stinson nearly threading it through, but Fabian, in the 43 games that he's played, count this one as 44, 61 goals, 28 assists. No question about it. He's taken it indoor like a fish in water.
Yeah, it's a significantly different game, but IQ is IQ, and your ability to intellectually deconstruct and reconstruct it within the confines of the turf is really the key. You have a player whose IQ is very high, then it just becomes a very simple direct, indirect line game. And we're seeing where St. Louis has put the Strikers where they're facing the boards defending. And now here,
Stinson shot.
So you can see this is where they want.
Stinson recovers it.
Unfortunate foul. But you see there the scramble that they create there because they played it off the third panel, and Ambush is facing their own goal. Okay, so if the other team's big number, you can see the big number and the goal you're attacking, that's a great situation to be in, and you're in the advantage.
Strykers pressing up high as Isak was pressuring Carvalho. The pass into Williamson. He fires it, and he scores! Bottom left corner where the dust might swell. Robert Williamson with his second goal of the game. Ambush up 5-2.
I don't know how many, I just said it, right? And here it is, the ball over the top, they dumped it long. Look at the Strikers defenders. Allen trying to track back, but where are his hips? Facing the goal that the other team's attacking. So that's a great situation, and that's just a big body to get around. Allen had no chance there, and Williamson put it home calmly. But again, just the simple fundamentals of how to play. They got caught pushing forward, trying to catch the goal, and then all of a sudden, the Ambush put the ball in a situation where it's dangerous for defenders.
And speaking of defenders, St. Louis has gotten 4 goals from their defenders. 2 from Michaud and 2 from Robbie Williamson. Just impressive effort by this ambushed side.
Well, if Berto were a defensive back, you wouldn't target him for goals. So that kind of, you take that logic, and the target players for the Ambush are not the guys they're looking for, so they're going to alternate angles, and dun-da-da-da. They've got goals off of those other targets.
The only other goals scored by their midfielder, William Eske, which took a weird bounce back in the first quarter. Despite the fact that the Strikers have controlled possession this entire fourth quarter, St. Louis, in their opportunities, have been extremely successful. Nascimento getting himself an assist there, and Williamson didn't even have to worry about the touch. It was basically served on a silver platter off that play from Paulo. Just put it to a position where Williamson got to fire it in, and just an impressive goal, impressive ball movement. And you can see that this veteran core of Ambush players taking advantage of the youthful exuberance that Empire possesses.
See, it's a self-defeating prophecy of sorts, Philly, because you said it yourself, right? The Strikers have had much of the play. But the fundamental question is, have they had much of the play where they want to play? The answer is no. They have much of the play, or they have all of the play where St. Louis is saying, you can play here. So that's the difference. And you fall into this trap, I think, a little bit, where you think you've got the game because you've got the possession. So they've got to press for goals. They've got to become dangerous because they're only playing where they're allowing them to play. Watch. You're just going to drop off. You're just sitting there. Esques doesn't have any problem. You can have it. You can have it here. No problem. No problem. You can have it here. So, again, you've got to create some uncomfortable situations for the defenders, and right now they're very comfortable, as you can see.
Diaz with Michaud in front of him. Diaz with some space. Nicked up high by Eske. Just as a reminder, the St. Louis Ambush have never beaten the Empire Strykers. This is the 10th meeting all time before for these two franchises. Empire has dominated, won the last 2 games last season, dominating the series. St. Louis sitting in a position right now to potentially capture their first dub against Empire, once known as the Ontario Fury, going back to the creation of the modern Major Arena Soccer League. Pass comes into Alami. Fabian cutting through. Alami goes over to his left into Stinson. Stinson fires it, and Stinson's shot. A little too much sauce on that. And that's going to send us to immediate timeout, folks. 7:34 remaining here in the fourth quarter. It's been all St. Louis here in the second half. In the catbird seat, leading by 3. The score 5-2. Back in a moment. You're watching the Major Arena Soccer League on CBS Sports Golasso Network.
1, 2, 3, let's go. I see you staring, but don't want no smoke. I hear you talking, but I'm here for the show. Don't get it twisted, baby, I snatch souls. It be murder, she wrote. 1, 2, 3, let's go. I see you staring, but don't want no smoke. I hear you talking, but I'm here for the show. Don't get it twisted, baby, I snatch souls. It be murder, she wrote. 1, 2, 3, let's go. I see you staring, but don't want no smoke. I hear you talking, but I'm here for the show.
Society has an obligation to help others when others are struggling. Families can become distressed because they lose their father. Now a mother's forced to raise their 3 children. How does she get a job? How does she create the means to take care of her kids?
For nearly 30 years, National Core and Hope Through Housing have changed the lives of hundreds of thousands of individuals, providing housing, offering hope, transforming communities. National Core and Hope Through Housing, building the future of community.
Loma Linda University invites you to join our open house on Sunday, January 25. Learn about your program of interest and how you can advance your career in health sciences. You'll tour our campus, meet students, network with faculty, and connect with professionals in the field. Answer your calling and attend Loma Linda University's open house. Register now at llu.edu/open house. Again, that's llu.edu/open house.
We would like to thank our official hotel sponsor, Ontario Airport Hotel and Conference Center, a Hyatt affiliate hotel, conveniently located just 2 miles from the Ontario International Airport and 4 miles from the Ontario Convention Center. Join the Hope Through Housing Foundation in empowering children and families in the Inland Empire and beyond through after-school programs and financial coaching. To learn more and see how Hope is making a difference, visit hopethroughhousing.org.
This second half has been dominated by the defenders of the ambush. Jeff Michaud and Robert Williamson. All the goals here in the second half. Alami with some space. He fires it and saved by Paulo. An incredible save by Paulo Nascimento, denying Munir Alami of what almost was his 4th goal of the season. Let's take a look at that replay again. Getting right by Williamson, utilizing the wall. Fires it in. Paulo doing Paulo-type things, and that's making incredible saves.
Yeah, that was a good chance by Alami. He also had Somo on the back if he played that first panel, and Somo kind of held his run a little bit. But great save, corner. Got to get something out of this.
Fabian over to Orozco. Orozco's open, his shot, fires it. Another attempt. And as has been the case all game long, the Strikers getting those looks, but just not firing them on frame. That instant replay. You see the attempt, Orozco wide open, and we know he could hit those bangers. We've seen Brian bangers on a couple of occasions these last 2 years. Here's another opportunity as Palmer plays in on the corner kick restart.
Much better movement of the ball.
The one-timer, and Orozco gets too much of that, but also gets clipped by O'Keefe, and we see Tarjeta Azul once again. Ryan Sigic waving the Smurf. The Smurf, lovingly referred to as the blue card because not that many things are small in blue, so hence the Smurf. There we see the replay. Orozco tries to one-time it and does get clipped there by O'Keefe. O'Keefe is now going to be in the penalty box. Strikers have a power play opportunity here, and they need to take advantage of it because time is not on their side. St. Louis sitting pretty here, up by 3 with 7:13 remaining.
It's a little mousetrap reaction from Brian Orozco there. Just hit the spring and see him bouncing up there. He kind of milked it a little bit, but that's a little savviness from Brian and ill-advised by O'Keefe.
And Orozco heads to the bench. Palmer wearing the extra attacker jersey.
This is big for the Strikers as far as...
Threads it in, and Diaz has a bit too much mustard on his attempt. Fires that in with enough power to make a place kicker on an NFL team envious. Strikers they have their attempts, and that's going to be a foul going against Ciro, the push-off. Carvalho, I mean, as big as he is, Carvalho draws the foul there on the much smaller Ciro Oliveira.
Well, he drew that foul because now they can keep this ball here and kind of kill some time. That's it.
Stinson battling with Williamson.
You got Williamson's feeling it. He's going to push it by and run by Stinson. He's feeling it right now.
Oliveira in a Diaz. Diaz in a Stinson. Stinson shot blocked by Williamson. Up to Fabian. Fabian. And the Strikers are just getting under that miter ball and just blasting it into the netting.
Just another opportunity for Duduka to come in, throw it up high to him, and try to kill more time in the power play.
The penalty kill for St. Louis coming into tonight, I mentioned, was 75%. They did allow a power play goal by Empire. There's another foul on the turf. 6:40 to go. Mashad on the restart. What a game he's had.
Indeed. He's worked very hard tonight.
He's going to go back to Togba. Togba had these incredible viral videos on social media where he would just have these impressive one-touches. If you don't follow James Togba on social media, you're missing out. One of the more entertaining people in this league to follow us on social media. Along with Kansas City Comets is Christian Andreos.
This top of the arc, very ill-advised to play that ball by Williamson. But this is huge for the Strikers, a great opportunity.
So it'll either be Palmer or Fabian. Fabian right into Togba. Goes directly to Palmer. Palmer to Diaz.
Play that gap. You had Justin. Goodness sakes.
Powell on that far left post. Strikers unable to connect with him. Finds Alami. Alami's shot saved. And that ricocheted nearly in front of Powell. Cleared. And we see Togba sprinting in. And for those wondering, yes, the extra attacker in the box can play the ball with his hands, but only in that box. So that was a legal play. Back heel from Stinson to Berto. Berto, his nickname. Williamson clears it, and that's going to be a sprint.
So you see here, Philly, they don't mind exerting this energy here to pin it because they're on the low board. So now he can sprint back. Well, he's got the energy to stay, but you just saw early where SK came on the short board as he came in high at the midline. So it's an easier change. So you can press higher there to defend and kill time.
This could be the last attempt here in this power play for the Strikers as we're right around 11 seconds remaining in the power play as O'Keefe's going to get ready to check back in. Alami battling with Austin. Over to Stinson. The penalty properly killed. Diaz's shot. He blasts it back into the netting. Goalkeeper restart for Nascimento.
San Antonio Regional Hospital is a proud sponsor of the Empire Strykers, keeping our community strong, healthy, and active for over 115 years. San Antonio Regional Hospital, here for life.
Headed by Ciro. And that gets headed aggressively and out of play. 5 minutes and 8 seconds remaining. All St. Louis, just to reiterate. And if you're just joining us, where the heck have you been? This has been an entertaining one. Ambush fans back at home are chomping at the bit, chomping those fingernails, those cuticles, hoping that their team can come up with their first win against Empire. Their second win in a row after starting the season off with 2 tough losses against the Kansas City Comets, a team that has been a perennial thorn in their side. Eske clearing up some space.
He's got Almeida.
Almeida was wide open. Eske unable to convert or connect with him as Orozco got in the way. Ball floats directly back to Carvalho. Carvalho, 6th year in St. Louis, was the 2019-2020 MASL Rookie of the Year and had one heck of a career playing professional futsal in Brazil as that foul goes against Almeida.
Tonight, we would like to give a special thank you to GoCal, your official destination guide to the inlands. Discover the best of Ontario, Rancho Cucamonga, and the surrounding region, from top-tier dining and entertainment to family fun and outdoor adventure. GoCal showcases the best our region has to offer. Whether you're new to the area or a local looking for something fresh, GoCal has you covered. Discover more at gocal.org.
Approaching the 4-minute mark here. Stinson threads it through, tries to find Powell, but Williamson once again gets in the way of an Empire opportunity into the box. Chance of here we go Strykers, here we go playing at Toyota Arena. The 7th man, the former Fury Fanatics, the Empire Armada, trying to will their team back in. Chavez wearing the extra attacker jersey as Orozco is back on the Pine Pony. Somo with space, he fires it, and he scores! Empire utilizing the 6th attacker dagger. Somo, not only does he get an assist, he now has a goal, 2 points in the game, and he puts Empire within 2 with 3:25 remaining in the 4th quarter.
Again, just making it dangerous, getting them forward. Look at the dummy run here. Look at that from Berto. See, almost literally broke his ankle almost. He gets in, scores the goal there, but that doesn't happen if Palmer doesn't step to the ball to force that central channel defender to step there. And beautiful, beautiful. We talked about soccer IQ. Berto Palmer.
The dummy by Berto made that play happen, but talk about the touch by Somo and the poise.
That was fantastic.
He wasn't feeling froggy enough to jump from one lily pad to the other. The touch he had gets Williamson, puts him on skates, and finds that space to blast it past Paulo. 5-3. Will the wave of momentum find its way in the direction of the Strykers?
Lily pad and skates in the same description line. Awesome.
There's 3 things we always look to do on these broadcasts: inform, educate, and entertain, and not necessarily in that order. Fabian over to Palmer. Ali Somo was wide open on that far right post, but he's got the much bigger Christian Briggs in his path. Chavez over to Fabian. 2:30 remaining in the match.
Plenty of time, but they've got to find that moment to break this line and get in behind at an angle.
That 6th attacker dagger worked real well for the Empire in that last possession. Can they recreate it? The pass threads through. Nascimento almost outside of the box, but did you see how clever he was there? As he spun and rotated, his feet were outside of the box, but the hand was right there, as we're going to get a TO on the turf.
It was reminding my days with beer baseball, you know, when you put your head on the helmet and twist like that. That's what he did.
2 minutes and 8 seconds. Coach, you've been in these situations on a number of occasions. If you're Jeff Locker of St. Louis, what are you telling your team right now?
Well, you know, you just got to calm and relax. You know, they're going to have the ball. What we've got to do is make sure that we have our shape consistently, keep the ball in front of us, keeps our hips forward. Having said that, you saw Berto split that pass there on the edge and almost broke through. That's what the Strykers need to do is get those defenders turning, create the scrambles. So, you know, it's gonna, we said it in the very beginning in the pregame, it's about execution for the Strykers, and it's about just shape and form for St. Louis. St. Louis has certainly found a way that's been very effective dictating where the Strykers can play, but now it just comes down to where, just like on the last goal, where they just executed, played them in the proper spaces, proper lines, and the creativity of Berto to kind of throw a little cheekiness into the mix, you know, caused the goal. So now it's just to remain calm. Just remain calm for the ambush, and understand that it's going to get crazy, but you know, true safety's in the heart of the storm. So that's where they've got to live.
You utilize that term execution on a number of occasions. Not to quote baseball, but the great legendary manager, Casey Stengel, formerly of the New York Yankees and the New York Mets, during the season in which the '62 Mets set the record for the worst season in baseball history. When asked by a reporter, what are your thoughts about your team's execution, Casey Stengel responded, "I'm in favor of it." Hilarious statement. And I'm not going to say that really applies to any of these teams right here, but it seems as if Empire, anytime they've had their backs against the wall in the final moments of the 4th quarter, they've seemed to dial it up a different level and seem to look like a completely different team offensively. What is it about them being in these moments to spark that enthusiasm and to give them that sense of urgency? Obviously, time not being in their favor, but if they replicated this throughout the entirety of the game, we're looking at a different matchup.
Yeah, you know, we said it earlier, you know, they had a little shutdown there in the 3rd quarter, and that's 2 consecutive games, so that's something Coach Abbasi's going to have to address and look at and examine. You know, a little sports psych section maybe. But at the end, again, it's going to come down to these guys getting forward, and they've got to stay above the, the midline, because you can see SK just saying, let them have it there. Okay, they've got time, but they've got to make sure that they maximize their time. You've got 2 minutes. They need a goal a minute. So
very doable, though.
Very doable. I mean, you don't need, you can score 4 goals in this amount of time, but you can't do it above the yellow line, statistically speaking.
Well, we've seen Marco Fabian blasted from that distance. Same with Justin Stinson. Steven Chavez wearing that 6th attacker jersey. We've seen the 6th attacker dagger in play. Fabian over to Chavez. Orozco's back on the bench. Empty net for the Empire. Shot by Fabian. Blasts off the plexi. Powell turns around. Upper part of the plexi just above the crossbar. He's going to kick it out. Martinez is going to advance up towards Chavez. Ball comes into Stinson. Paulo gets his paws on it once again. O'Keefe is going to blast it almost into the crowd, almost out of bounds, but still within play. 62 ticks left of the game clock. Alami with Pogba in his sight line.
You said ding-dong for the post. That was probably the most fortuitous bounce off the panel right there, because if it goes out of bounds, it's the top of the yard.
Fabian shot, saved by Nascimento. Didn't mean to interrupt you there.
No worries, no worries.
He almost had one of those wow moments, those pinch-me moments that we've seen in this beautiful sport of indoor. Greatest show on turf. Fabian with some space. He's going to cock back. That blasts off Pogba. Fighting with Alami. 30 seconds remaining.
Got to create scrambles.
Stinson with SK in front of him. He's going to fire it. Tried to find Powell on that far post.
Reload.
Back over to Alami. Alami's shot. Monir Alami, 3 straight games, continues to find the back of the net from turf to twine. Once again, let's rewind. Monir Alami with a goal.
Put himself just in a great spot to score, right? I mean, that's the whole thing. They're below the yellow line. They're creating danger. And Alami, I mean, he's just in form getting goals, so it was a fortuitous finish, but it was just natural instincts to get where you need to get to. So you can see here, they're playing it down low. There it is.
17.6 seconds remaining. We might be on the verge of something magical. One way or another, St. Louis has never defeated the Empire. That's magic within its own right. But if the Empire can find a way to get the ball back and blast one in, you know what's better than soccer, Artie? More soccer.
More soccer.
Overtime if that happens.
Well, Strikers have to go hunting. They've got to go hunting from the whistle. They've got to go after it and regain possession and go as quickly as possible. What did they score with 1.3 seconds earlier?
With 3 and change, Robert Palmer managed to score one in the first quarter, towards the expiration of the first quarter. If we're following the laws of averages, they've been hit. Because Empire averages about 5 goals per game, St. Louis a little over 4. We were predicting right around 9 or 10 goals, and we've hit that mark thus far. 9 goals. That's something you're not going to see in the outdoor game. As much as we love it, you're not going to see that in indoor soccer.
Indeed,
Artie, what's
indeed.
the strategy going to be here? Obviously, St. Louis is huddling up right now. They're with their backs to the wall, as is Empire. 17.6 seconds. Anything can happen. You and I are getting older, but 17.6 seconds could be the difference between hell or heaven. What's it going to be?
Contemporary nomenclature. Hunt, hunt, hunt. As soon as that ball is rolled, the Strikers got to hunt. They've got to go and get the ball. They've got to take chances to try to win it, but they've got to hunt. And this is what's going to make it exciting, because they're going to hunt, and that's just going to elevate the anxiousness of the ambush, and the ambush have to remain calm. And when you mix those two together, something can crack. Here it is.
The play of Williamson. Trying to kill as much time off the clock, and that header by Ciro Oliveira. Or actually, that deflects off of St. Louis. I stand corrected. No, actually, I restate myself. I correct myself. Machad and Carvalho. They're going to look to milk as much time off of the clock as possible. What a successful game of keep away.
Got to go.
And that's going to do it, folks. The St. Louis Ambush come into town and for the first time in franchise history defeat the Empire Strykers by a score of 5-4. This game tonight was highly entertaining. When the Empire kept going up, St. Louis found an answer. They clawed back into the game, but this second half, it belonged to St. Louis.
It certainly did. And you know, I said it a lot in the broadcast. It's, you know, the game isn't just about keeping possession. You have to have possession with intent and possession to score goals. The whole idea is to organize, to execute, and you know, we use that phrase a lot tonight, but there was a lot of organization from the Strikers, and not until late, when they created these late scrambles, did they execute sequences to go to goal. And you don't get points for keeping the ball. You don't get points for goal kicks, right? You get points in the table by scoring goals, and so you've got to go after the goals. And we just didn't, the Strikers just didn't do that effectively enough, soon enough. You know, we had that downshift in the third quarter. That's 2 games in a row. Certainly, Coach Obasi's going to have to look at that and address that from a I think from a psychological point as to what's causing that, you know, that shutdown.
The Strikers have struggled these past couple of games after that huge road win in San Diego, a place where they haven't managed to win. They get the win there, and defending home turf has been incredibly difficult for Empire. And we're going to kick it back down to Amanda the Panda Filament as she's standing by with St. Louis ambush defender Jeff Machad, who scored 2 goals today. Jeff Machad had himself a heck of a game. He's had plenty of time, a veteran in this sport. 5th year in the MASL, 3rd with St. Louis. Played collegiately at UCF. He's had himself a heck of a game today. And let's take a look at our stats right here. 9 goals is what we anticipated, but look at the difference. The shots fired by Empire, with a lot of them coming within the 4th quarter. Quarter by quarter, St. Louis had the edge only in the 2nd. Empire had the line shares, but we're going to kick it into Panda, who's standing by with St. Louis ambush defender Jeff Machad. Panda with the insights. Jeff Machad, the player of the game, along with Robert Williamson. Take it away, Panda.
Hey guys, I'm here with St. Louis ambush defender Jeff Machad. You guys came in here clearly with a plan to defend against this team. Talk to me about what that was and how well you guys were able to execute that tonight.
Yeah, I mean, we had a lot of time off in between our past few games. We started this season on a back-to-back, and then we had a lot of time to prepare. But we just hit the training fields hard. We had an idea of what we wanted to do. We kind of wanted to entice the goalkeeper to play. And ultimately, I mean, a game like this, when you're playing a lot of the game down a man, essentially, with them playing with the goalkeeper, it just comes down to hard work.
I was going to say, this system has to kind of cater to you as a defender. You have 2 goals on the season, 3 total for this. That already matches what you did last year. Is this system designed for someone like yourself to be able to score on?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we kind of found a little bit of a niche at the end of this season last year, and we're just trying to keep that going. But we really enjoy the group that we have, and we're looking, forward to the future.
First time you guys have beaten the Empire. This is the 10th all-time meeting, and you guys were finally able to do that. How's it feel to get that monkey off your back?
No, it feels good. Hopefully the seal's been broken, so we'll maybe get 10 going our way. But that's a bit of a breath of fresh air, because at 10 games that's a long streak. So we're glad to get that finally broken, and hopefully keep the momentum going.
All right, great game tonight. Congrats. Good luck in the rest of your season.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Panda, and thank you, Jeff Machad. A very impressive performance. 2 goals by him, 2 goals by Robert Williamson, 1 goal by William Eske. Look, St. Louis came out of the gates really hot. Empire did score and draw first blood, but anytime that Empire would go up, St. Louis had an answer, and they managed to fight back valiantly, eventually taking over the lead, and they never looked back once they did.
You know, luck is when hard work meets opportunity, and Jeff said it right there. You know, they came in and they needed to work hard, and that's what they did the entire game. You saw in the 4th quarter 2 guys sliding on the edge and getting up and celebrating. I mean, that was the mentality. And that's been 2 games in a row where the other team has kind of come in to defend with that mentality, against the Strikers. So the idea now is for the Strikers, again, to solve that problem, how they downshift in the 3rd quarter and keep the other teams under pressure. The idea of keeping the ball, the defenders weren't having to work too hard because they just kind of shifted and changed. So there's some issues to work there for the Strikers. The ambush just executed and took advantage of their situations. What were they, 30% on the they had 15 shots and 5 goals.
Strikers with 25 shots, and 4 goals. They're not going to have a lot of time to dwell on this because they're going to be hopping a flight to take on the Tacoma Stars in less than 24 hours. So no time to really sit and think about this. For the St. Louis Ambush, they get to face a familiar foe at the Family Arena on Sunday, December 21st, when they play the Kansas City Comets. So St. Louis Ambush, congratulations on the win against the Empire Strykers. A very impressive performance. St. Louis is a team to be reckoned with. Let's see how the Strykers can turn things around against the undefeated, by the way, Tacoma Stars. Strykers in this game were led by Justin Stinson, Robert Palmer, and Isak Somo. The Somo brothers had a really big part of this match, and that's the story there. On behalf of myself, Christian Phileman, better known as Philly, and Artie Kyrell, thank you for tuning into this presentation of the Major Arena Soccer League on CBS Sports Golasso Network. We'll see you on January the 8th.
1, 2, 3, let's go. I see you staring, but don't want no smoke. I hear you talking, but I'm here for the show. Don't get it twisted, baby, I snatch souls. If you murder, she roll. 1, 2, 3, let's go. I see you staring, but don't want no smoke. I hear you talking, but I'm here for the show. Don't get it twisted, baby, I snatch souls. If you murder, she roll. 1, 2, 3, let's go. I see you staring, but don't want no smoke. I hear you talking, but I'm here for the show.
Loma Linda University invites you to join our open house on Sunday, January 25. Learn about your program of interest and how you can advance your career in health sciences. You'll tour our campus, meet students, network with faculty, and connect with professionals in the field. Answer your calling and attend Loma Linda University's open house. Register now at llu.edu/open house. Again, that's llu.edu/open house. I'll see you there.
Please signal from 6 right, we don't.
Happy holidays from National Corps and the Hope Through Housing Foundation. We are proud partners of the Empire Strykers. Thank you so much to all of the Empire Stryker players for continuing to come out and support all of the children and families in our communities. We wish you and your families a very safe and healthy holiday season. Let's go Strykers!